The euro is closed. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. We're going YouTube live now. As soon as we get live on YouTube, we'll start with the account like we normally do. Okay, we're live now, right? Great, let's go. Let me just close this. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to those YouTubers. We already said good morning to everybody here. And let's go. Wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good day. Let's go. So we will go through the trades we had yesterday, what we did with those trades we have today, and what we're going to do with these trades. So we had 3 trades yesterday that we left, right? We had 1 trade in the euro. I think you can see I closed the euro for positive. That's break even. That's break even. I don't call them. Those are break even trades. Why did I close the euro for break even? Well, like I told you yesterday, if I don't see a structure that supports the downside, we were in the sell. And as you can see this morning, once it went up yesterday, we were in the negative. It came down back. I saw this pattern here for the upside, for a bigger correction here. So we closed the trade. It's still a possible sell today, right? If this is a running flat, we're still going to get a sell today. If we get a sell set up today, we will take the sell in the euro. So we will go back in. The reason I closed it, I'm not sure how far this is going to go, right? So this pattern told me you're going to get a correction. You don't want to stay in that correction. All right, let's go. That's the first trade. The second trade we had was the silver. So the silver trade, you will not see it here because I closed that for profit and then I reopened the silver. I closed that for a small loss and then I reopened another silver. So let me show you the silver where I closed, where I opened, what I did with the silver. So all of you would remember we were in this trade up, right? I was in the trade in this zone. And that went up. As it's coming down here, I realized we're making a flag here. So I closed that on the flag here. You wouldn't see that trade because it's closed at the top of the flag here. So that is count is gone, right? And then you get a drop here. So what I did there is I took, actually, I think I took a buy somewhere in this one. It dropped a little more, came up back. I closed that. Sorry, this dropped a little more. I closed it for like 400. It dropped more, and then I said, okay, let me wait. So then I decided when this is on the way up, okay, I'm going to buy here. So I bought there. I wanted to get the breakout. That is why I think the breakout should go. So now they're pulling back. So that third trade, the third one, we're upside down, 1,000. 1,000 is 10 pips to me, right? That's 50 lots you're looking at, right? 50. I don't think that's standard. That's 50,000 lots. I don't know how they count it. That's how they count it. If it's ounces or what, I have no idea. Right? So that is, and the third trade I was in, that's what this one. This is still going to go. So let me show you what we're waiting for. This is just more of a correction here now. You can see they make these corrections, deep corrections, then they go. They make a move, make a deep correction back to the top and then come down. So this coming down is no problem. I don't think they'll break the low. And even if they break the low, they're going to go back up. So I'm not expecting them to break the low because the pattern I'm looking for is going to be maybe just an impulsive pattern. So we're not expecting them to break the low. Kind of a 1, 2, 3 pattern, like this one. 1, 2, 3. That's a trade we're looking for. If it breaks the low, it just gives us some new information. It doesn't mean it's not going to go up. It gives us some new information because this is pretty much an up trade. I think this is easy for everyone to see, right? This is a no-brainer. This is going up. Even if this thing comes down here and I'm 20,000, 30,000 upside down, I'm not worried about that. That is going to go up. Silver, I have no stops and I don't care. Like I said, even if I go to 80% drawdown on silver, I'm okay with that because 80% drawdown is calculated at 0, which means if silver go to 0, I probably would be at 80% drawdown. No big deal. I would love to see silver at 0 because then my investor will come in with more money for me to buy them at 1 cent, right? Not going to happen, never. So silver, you don't have to be afraid. It's a pretty safe trade. You can go to sleep on this trade. Right? So let's go. The next trade I'm in is this one. This is pretty much upside down. This is about 1.9% upside down on my account. If you come to the account is 569. It's the drawdown is 568, right? So that is about 1 point. So that's almost about 2. So why am I keeping that trade? Why didn't I close that trade? So I had 2 opportunities to close it. I'll show you the 2 opportunities. I'll tell you why I didn't close it. Remember, I took one earlier and I closed that in the pound Swiss. So let's look at the pound Swiss trade. Right? This is the pound Swiss, put it in the 1 hour. This is the pound Swiss trade. If you look at it, let's start with the bigger picture so you can understand where we are in the bigger picture. picture. This is where we are in the bigger picture. We're in a downtrend. We had a daily correction. I think all of you remember that daily correction. We had a daily correction here, and now we're in a downtrend. We literally broke out of that pattern, right? So we're in a downtrend. If you look at the daily, you've got a big sharp, well, not a sharp move, but you've got a big correction to the upside here, right? They made a correction here, and they made a correction here. So we made a move down. We're going up. Well, this is a very small correction. That's a very small correction. So I'm expecting another small correction here, or possibly a deeper correction before they go back up. So something like this before they go back up. It will never go in a straight line. Just remember that. And I think one of the questions the first day we came in, when I said I don't trade with stop, somebody was, well, what happens if it spikes? And I'm, well, no, nothing. You just wait for it to come back, right? Because it will come back. It always does. So let's find some of those spots on this very chart where you had like a sudden spike. Let's say I was trading here, just so that I can show you. Let's say technically I had a sell in this level for a downside here. If I thought that was a flag and I sold it here to come down, right? I'm looking for a 1, 2, 3 structure. And for whatever reason, it spiked above, right? It went above the top even, right? So it went above, and then what happens? Back to square one. You can repeat that process over and over, right? We can take any spot. Actually, we were in trades like that. So if you remember last year when I was trading, we experimented in that account. And I think if you people ask me what happened, that account is still running, but it's not running with 100% like we plan to do. It's running with about 4 or 5%. That is why but we actually did a lot of analyzing and testing and practicing and keeping trade we shouldn't have kept in that account. We kept one pound trade until it was 160K drawdown. I think I told you guys that story already, right? So what we were doing is we were testing to see whether they come back. I'll show you guys that trade practically, what we did and how we did. So we were in these trades. I'll show you where we sold. We sold here, we sold there, and we sold there. Well, we sold on the 60 minutes, but those were the setups that we sold. And we kept all 3 of those until here, and we closed them here. Those 3 trades were closed here. Those trades were on for months and months and months, right? So no need to panic when you're trading. That's not how I'm trading this account. That was when we were experimenting on how we would trade long term. If you're going to trade long term, what would be your strategy, right? So just to show you. So we're in here. Where is my trade? So that you know, to compare that to this, I actually sold it here. And the chart is here. So no need to worry. There's no panic in this, right? It's not like I sold it here. I sold it at the top of the chart, at the top of the move, right? The price that we sold at is 26.93. Why is it 93? It was 96 just now. Well, they normally take it out when they roll over. So 26.93. It was 26.90 something, 99. 3 pips they take out every day for rollover. So it's the second day on. So if you take 26.93, that's next to 27. Let's put a line so you can see where the sell is. Let's go, that's 27, go to here, that's 27, 26, 9, 9, 9, 9, 1, 9, 2, 9, 9, 3, right? That's it, somewhere here. That's it. So if you look at the movement we have made from the bottom, it's not like this is not a panic mode. So what it's going to do, it's probably going to go up. What am I looking for? I'm looking what is happening in there in the lower time frame. So if you look in the 1 hour, it's going sideways, literally going sideways. So for me to decide that that trade is no longer a valid trade for a sell, because patterns like these break to the downside. Every time you see a pattern like this, they break to the downside. And very likely they break out of this. Why do I think they could break out of that? Is because of the daily chart. So when you go in the daily chart, this is what I'm looking for, a possible running flat in here. There's a strong possibility that I'm looking at this and this for a running flat. And if that is going to make a running flat, then I need a pullback within this one to go, because you've got 2 pullbacks here. And so you need 1 pullback at least here to go. And that 1 pullback is going to do the deal. If you're checking it from here to here, I needed to pull back something like this. Something like this, I needed to pull back, and then I expect it to go again. So if you go back to the 1 hour, we have signs of that happening, at least so far. We have signs they're going sideways. It's not really going very aggressive. So if they do get aggressive, and if this move does go out of that, for that to continue in the move in the way it's going to go, what they will have to do is they'll have to make a flag here. So you're going to get a flag pattern like this at the top there. So if this changes into a flag pattern, and I mean a 1 hour or a 4 hour flag pattern, if that gets a 1 hour or 4 hour flag pattern, that's it, I'm closing the trade. Because from there, it is going to go up. Right? That's a change of structure. That means you've got a pattern, because we have a small consolidation here. One that I saw yesterday, but I didn't close the trade because it's under 15 minutes. We have a running flat in here. I think most of you would know that if you follow me. And then we had this one this morning. I probably would have closed here, but I missed it because I was doing the webinar, my webinar. We had it like this, and we saw this was coming down. I was telling me, okay, watch this pattern because they'll probably go back up. So just maybe I might have closed it there if I wasn't actually in the webinar and I didn't have the account open. I might have closed it, but otherwise that we're going to go. One minute today, then the big drop. Okay, it's going to go down. There is no question about that. It's just a question of pushing it up first before they drop. They always do that. If you're going to drop it, you push it up as high as you can, then drop it, right? So it's going to go up a little more. I'm at the top. So even if you look at this pattern from this piece going up, at some point they will pull back to continue. So I hope we can manage that trade today, tomorrow out of it, so you guys can see how it's done. If not, then the next weekly outlook, not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, I'll probably show you. So you can see how I do that and what I do and where I exit and how much you take loss in it. It's not going to go into 10% loss. I can guarantee you that, right? I'm not going to be holding a trade to go into 10% loss. Excuse me. So those are the three trades. I'm still holding this one. The euro we closed, the silver we closed. We have silver. That's new silver trade. So we have silver trade. I'm not with it. Like I said, this is the least one I'm worried about. It's coming down. Let it go. All we're going to do is we're going to wait for this to start going back up. And maybe we might even add some more because I do have a lot of leverage to add on this, right? So let's see. We're going to leave the silver. It broke and come back. So we'll just change the structure. Let it come back. I'm not expecting them to break this low because this is a consolidation to the downside. We're still looking to buy silver. Just so you know, if you're joining us for the first time, anybody here for the first time, so you don't get into panic mode, this is a consolidation. And we're trying to buy at the bottom of the consolidation every time. If you're going to trade, that is what you need to do every single time. You buy at the bottom of a consolidation. So we started buying at the bottom of this consolidation here. Well, I was in the trade already before that I closed. And then we started buying from the bottoms of these consolidation and we took out a few break-even trades. We might get today's trade to be a break-even trade. If it comes here and come back, that's a break-even trade. We'll buy here again, and this will be the trade. These we're doing here are not the trade that I want. Those is not a trade that actually make the money, right? Those trades don't make you money. They're break-even. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, that's a break-even trade. For me, it has to be 10,000 or 15,000 above before I count it as a winning trade because it needs to be 3% or more. If it is less than 3%, then it's pretty much a break-even trade. Right? So unless it gets there, it's not a trade. It's just you took off the trade for break-even because it didn't go. So it's still going to go. When this go, I think on this one we made, I can tell you the two trades that I made the money from. This one, I think we made 30,000. And this one, this whole piece here, I think I closed it and I reopened. So I think this one is about 15 or 20 and that's about 30. And there's another one about 15,000 here. So when you see the 60,000, it's all made on silver. The first one was from here, right? That one, and then we got a few small ones in there. Those will break even as well, and then so the whole 60,000 you see there is actually in silver. So those are the trades you get. Only in 3 trades. Those are actually the trades. That's trade. The rest of them are break even trade, and I get a lot of break even trade. Don't worry about that. I guess you guys figured that out already, right? A lot of break even trade until the one trade goes. So it's trial. When it's going to go well, as the pattern develops, sometimes you get a simple pattern and the trade goes. But as the pattern is developing, you just work with it. So let it go. This is going to go up. That's almost guaranteed. Let it come back here and we're going to get this trade to go up. That is for the trades we were in. No need to rush. Don't get very nervous. We're going to go through all the trades. So euro might come back as a sell. Just watch it. Pong is breaking out slightly. We looked at this Pong trade this morning for a possible buy there. I personally don't like it because I don't think it's going to go very far. I think they're going to just break the top, find some orders, and they're going to pull back very fast, right? That's the thought process of the pattern that I see developing, right? The trade is to the upside. I just don't like the trade because I've seen these patterns when they get these sharp moves down, sharp move up. What they do is they break here, come back down here for another sharp move, and then you go, right? I'm not going to explain the details of it, but my traders immediately figure out what I'm talking about, right? So if they do that, then we get into the buy, or we probably even get a sell before we get a buy. If it's going to go from here, I really do. It's like buying at the top. I don't like that idea, right? If I think this one was going to go very big upside, now I would have taken the trade. So this trade, I'm out of it. So you guys have an idea of what I do and how I do, right? So now it's time to put the disclaimer so we can start. I showed you my past trades. Let me bring out the disclaimer for you. So now we're going to start trading. Actually, we're going to go into trade. So before I start taking any trade, everybody read the disclaimer. You have a few minutes. I'll mute myself, get some tea, and you guys read the disclaimer. Okay, I guess everybody read it. So again, let me repeat. In short, you are not here to take trades. I am not giving trade call. I'm showing you how I trade, and you are here for the show. Relax, get your coffee, get your chips, enjoy the show, right? You are having an inside look into my trading. That's what you're doing. How I trade, what I do. It's not an educational thing because you wouldn't really get any much education here. You're just enjoying the show to see how I do it, right? That's basically what is here. So, like I said, this one we are looking. I don't like the trade. I'll be honest with you. It might go. I just don't like it. That's simple. I just personally don't like this trade because I've seen this pattern and I know it's not likely going to go very far. Now, if it goes, that's okay, right? If that goes, it goes without me. That's all. I am not worried about trade that goes without me. Right? No big problem with that, right? Let them go. I want to choose the trades that I think has the highest probability to go with the best results that I could get. That's it. You're going to make mistakes every now and then. That's okay. Like, it might be a mistake not to take this one because it might go far, but I'd rather be out of it and don't be, right? You might take some that you think are going to go right, and they might not go. That's it. You will take the loss. The balance of your account is what is important. So let's go. Somebody was saying Aussie, New Zealand. Let's go look at that. Aussie, New Zealand has made a big move up, quite a big move. So if you look at this top of the pattern, let me just bring it back. Like I said, if this is the correction, if this is all the correction, it will go. I'm not sure that is all the correction. From my experience, there's a good chance it goes. So what we would look for, you see on the 240, I want them to start making a 240 consolidation. Something like that, not a big one. Something like probably, let me find a 240, one like this. I want one like that, very small. And if I get that 240 consolidation, what they're telling me is I'll have another move up. And that's good. Now I'm going to take the trade. That's my confirmation. Until then, if I take, some of my traders were in also, and some of you are in, you need to move your stops. If you take it in the lower time frame, just move your stops because there's a good chance they're going to do this and go back up. So now what you need to do is just move your stops. Don't take off the trade. There's no need to take off trades sometimes. Just move your stops on them. If we get a consolidation or a deep pullback here, then we're going to look for a buy setup again, right? We're not selling this. We're looking for a very big buy, for a very big move to the upside, and we definitely want it, right? Some of my traders are in from the bottom, from that entry order that they put, which I don't know why the hell I forgot to put mine on because it was New Year's and I didn't think the chart was going to move. And they actually made the move, drop, go back up. So this is a very big trade. You can actually relax on this one when you get into it and it goes positive, right? There's been 2 years correction, so it should just spike out on the daily, those low. It's been in 2 years spike. I'm not sure what you mean by just spike on the daily. Those lower degree corrections should be small. This not necessarily. I follow. You mean the corrections and the impulse are going to be small. So let's go back and look at one impulse. Look at the very first impulse. Right? It's pretty easy. You just have to look at the very, very first impulse in that whole structure, right? See, they weren't that small. We bought this one. This one wasn't that small. There were a lot of small ones in between that you can trade, right? But they will make a big one, then they'll make another big one. And if it is going to go very far, you're going to get a big one. I'm not even looking for daily ones. Those are daily corrections that went for weeks, right? I'm looking for a 240. So you notice this is only one daily candle. So when I said I'm looking for a 240 correction, I'm looking for a day of 240 correction within the daily candle, right? So it's not like I'm looking for a very big one. What we're looking for is a very, very small correction to get into the trade, right? So in that sense, you're right. It might move fast, but it's going to make 60 minutes and 240 corrections quite a lot. So you will have an opportunity to get into the trade. It's not like you're going to miss it, especially if you know when it's going to go. News in 10 seconds, we'll just ignore the news here. We wouldn't trade the news in here. Definitely not in this crowd, right? We do it in our trading room very regular, but we wouldn't repeat that here. So we'll just let it go. So what trade sales we're looking for? I hope the silver turns though. That would be a great one. If anybody want to buy, this might be the best time. Yen, we already looked at the yen. We are waiting for a buy on the yen, but we don't have a setup. So if there's going to be news and you think it's going to drop very fast, then put an entry order. That's it. Let's go to the yen. If you want, put an entry order. So let's say we think yen is going to drop very fast now from this level. On the news, I don't think so. But if you think it's going to drop very fast, put an entry order here. Put an entry order somewhere there. I don't know, 15 pips away, maybe a little lower. Put an entry order there and go with it. So if it drops very fast down, you're in the trade, right? You don't want to take it just in front of the news because of the volatility. If you take it, you'll put a stop here if you sell it, right? And it's probably going to do that and come. See? That's a possibility in the news. It wouldn't change the structure. It's not that I said they would change the structure, but they could spike to the upside and then come down, and you don't want to be in that spike. Right? That's the danger part of that. Right? So what two trades I have here? I have on here. I have silver and I have pound Swiss. If it's a dollar news and you're going to move, the dollar is going to move. Both Swiss will move and pound will move. So there wouldn't be a big difference in the pound Swiss and in the pound Swiss. There could be a big difference in silver. I don't care. Literally, I don't care where silver goes, up or down. I'm still in the silver. You just short looking amazing. Yeah, we're looking for that short. Like I said, somebody said 10 minutes news. You can put the entry order if you want. If you guys want, we can put an entry order on the account. Let's put one on the account for you. That is 108.61. So let's go. Let's put an entry order. USDJPY. None of you should do this. I'm showing you what I would do. Somebody said there's news. I don't know. I didn't even check it. Do we have any news event coming up? No, that's not. There's no news. That's not going to even affect the market. So we'll just keep the entry. We'll take the trade live. We'll take the trade live. So we'll go back and we'll get the trade live, right? So we want this to break out and then we'll sell it. No need to sell it. Right? Anthony, you are not in our group, right? Because we trade every single news event. And I personally am in the room when we trade them. And our win-loss ratio is amazing. There is a specific strategy we use to trade the news event. The guy who told me news is coming out in 10 minutes, he's in our group. So he knows why he's telling me that, right? We do it every single one, and I personally in the group. I personally go in there in all the news events to trade. Right? Personally, we don't trade the news so that you understand. We trade the patterns, but during the news, you tend to get a very sharp move in the patterns if the pattern is ready to go. That is why we go in, we identify the pattern, let's say the yen, the dollar yen. We're looking for a sell setup because we saw this pattern and I think they're going to come down. Now, I think they're going to come down now that they broke the top. I think they're going to come about here. Now they can, if there is a serious news event, you might not get your regular strategy to kick in, which is what we use, right? Because they may just drop it like this and then go back up, right? And if you want to get this piece in the news event, you have to use a different strategy. We're still looking for the downside, but it's a different strategy. So we have a strategy how we trade the news. We have a very specific strategy of how we do that. And I personally is in the room to do it every time. I take that responsibility for my traders. sorry, the yellows, and we don't trade the yellows and the one we trade the red. Well, I mean the high impact. I say red, somebody's gonna go, what the hell is he talking about? The high impact news, right? So all my traders are here, so they know what I'm telling you, right? Yeah, I know. You know, so the trolls are just gonna look at it as, hey, you're saying red instead of say high impact. So let's go. So, okay, we're looking for this one. We're going to get this trade. We just have to have some patience, and we're going to get a trade in this almost for sure today, either up or down. What else we're looking at? Like I said, I don't like the pound. Let me show you. The euro, we can look for a euro sell to. That means we want to look at the euro yen. If euro is looking like a possible sell for the downside, this might be one of those running flats for a sell. Then, and yen is looking downside, then you go to the euro yen, because that is a trade that if they're going down, they're going to go down crazy. Do we have a sell set up in the euro yen? We do. We absolutely do, right? So you can see we have a very good sell setup. You can do this two ways. I can do this two ways, not you. I can put an entry order here and walk away from the chart, or I can literally click it right now. I just literally click the trade right now if I want. Now, if I think that consolidation is going to go up or down a little more, like if I think this might just consolidate its way up a little more like this before it goes, then I may say, you know what, hey, let me just put the entry order. So if it goes up, it wouldn't take me. What we're looking at is a consolidation to the downside. But why this could go more? Well, if you look at the depth of this consolidation, if you look at the depth of the impulse, 657 pips. We haven't really even go back about 50% of it. But I think 1/3 of that, if you put the fib, we're just about 1/3 of it. We didn't even reach 1/3, we were 20%. So there's a good chance they can drop to about 38 or 50, somewhere around those areas. These are not magical areas, those are percentage areas, right? Don't let anybody sell you that stuff as magical. It's just percentage, nothing else. Nothing but percentage, right? So this is a good trade. So what we can do now is we can do it two ways. Let's put an entry order for you guys, so you will see how that works. Let me put an entry order in for this one. We're looking at euro yen. Rather than take the yen or take the euro, if the yen falls, the euro yen is going to go. Euro is not going up, very volatile. And we'll put the stop limit. What's the price? 123.71. It has to be a sell. 123.71. And on the downside, we will give it 3 pip slippage. So that is going to be 169, right? That would be 68. 173.68. Which means if it goes lower than 68 very fast, it's not going to take me, right? So let me explain that here. The slippage. This is 7-1. If there's a fast movement, the lowest I want it to take me is 68. That is 3 pips away, right? If it goes lower than that, don't take me in. I don't want 100 pip slippage. This is slippage you're controlling in this thing, and which is nice. I like this, that I can control what slippage I want, right? We have to put the volume. Let's put, I think it's a very short stop. Yeah, the stop would be above here, which is less than 50 pips. Kind of, oh, that's 123 pips. So we'll have to go with only about five standards. We can't go with more than 5 standards there. So we'll only go with 5 standards. I was going to put 10. So 5 standards and the place order, right? 10 standards, I click 40 to 50 standards already, don't worry. You get there. So we're gonna put place order and confirm. So theoretically, this is where I want to get out. I want to get out of the trade if it breaks this stop. Because if it breaks this stop, it's breaking out of the corrective structure for an impulse. Now, nothing is moving very fast. So I will take a second here to explain something to you guys, especially if you're all traders. Because one guy was trolling me and I actually blocked him very long ago, so he can't really get into my webinar now. And I think one of the two, you remember I was showing you how I closed those. It was like, you have no idea about trading. You have to have discipline. You have to let the trade can take you out only two ways, either your stop loss or your take profit. And I'm like, yes, dummy. If you're dumb enough as a trader, that is what you do. When you have no idea what's going on in the charts, but you're hoping, you put on your trades and you go to pray, well, then yes, that's what you do. You put your trades on and you go to pray, right? And you hope that one out of the tools get tagged, your stop loss or your take profit. But if you're a trader and you do structure and you understand what the structure is and you're trading a particular pattern and that pattern changes, you can say, hey, that pattern changed. Let's get the hell out of it. And it doesn't have to be where your stop loss is, as well as it doesn't have to be where your take profit is. Maybe you're looking for more profit, but you have, let's say, 100 pip profit and it started to turn to the downside and you can literally see it's going to go down and it's 20 pips away from your take profit. What do? Leave it? Well, if you're dumb enough, then you leave it. But if you understand structure, you're like, hey, that's good profit. Let's go. It's turning. Let's sell it now. Not buy it, but let's sell it. So what would be a change of structure here for me? If this, instead of going that way, goes here, break this stop, makes any correction here without breaking there. If it makes any correction back to this level, that's it. I'm out of that trade. Well, I'm not in the trade, basically. But let's say it tag us. Let's go the other way. If it tag us, come back here and make a flag here, or even come back here and make a flag here, we're not waiting for this stop loss. We're getting the hell out of the trade here because this will tell us they're going out. Actually, we're not only getting out, we're going to buy it. Because in the big picture, we're looking for buy. So there's a difference of how you look at the charts. The idea of when you're going to get in, where you should take out, where you should put your stop loss, all those are based on structures. Right? And if you don't understand structure, well, then you have no clue what you're doing. You're literally just swimming. I don't know. You're walking in the dark and hoping, you're pushing your hands in front of you, hoping that if you hit the wall, well, yeah, then you don't hit your head. That's it. Right? But if there is a sharp pointed something there and your hand miss it, it's going to get you. Basically. So don't do that. Learn to trade, learn to understand the structure, figure out when it's changing, figure out when you're in, when you're not in, right? So that is what you do. When you have to understand because that gives you a chance. Remember I told you guys euro is going to come down, right? Doesn't matter in the euro news, what I just told you. Listen to what I just told you, couple, because that structure told us euro is going to come down, right? We might even get a sell in the euro because we're looking at a pattern. And when you get a pattern like this pattern is telling you that they're probably going to drop one more low. Now, if we decide that this is a good one, we will take it. I don't think that's a good one, right? I don't think the buyer or the seller is a good one. But if they do this, if they just come and drop at this low, and we see what we're looking for, and we get a reversal back here with a flag, we will be buying that, right? If I see what I'm seeing in the chart, I'll be looking for a buy and a sell. So what will give me the sell setup? You can sell it. You can literally put an entry order here, let them drop beyond that. And if it continues to go, that's your trade. If they just go sideways slowly, take it off. Like I said, it's all about the structure as well. You guys are not going to learn that in 5 minutes. What I show you there, you're not going to learn anything from that because it's more complex than that. It's not that simple. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. It's like you go to the doctor and he said, hey, how do you do appendicitis? He said, well, what I do is I separate the muscle, separate everything, get into the abdomen, find the appendicitis, cut it off, tie it, stitch it, close back everything, stitch it. And you're like, I could do that. It's simple, right? No, it's not. It's the same thing here. It's a profession. It's not that simple. I'm explaining to you in simple ways what I would do. You will have to practice a lot to figure out how to make that simple. Right? You can wake him up in the night and he will go do that operation and he'll pretty much do it good because he's trained to do that. He has the training and the knowledge. You don't. I train myself. I have the knowledge and the training and the practice and everything to do this the way I'm doing it. You just can't repeat it immediately, right? So it's coming down. We expect that. That's not new, right? Waiting for your stop loss and take profit in your trades plan is silly. Yes, you always need to watch what the structure is doing. That's a silly thing to just wait for it. So if you see a change in structure, you would just leave it, right? It's like, okay, you have to watch. Let me explain this as simple as I can, so you will probably understand, right? So if you were told, green light you go, red light you stop. You got green light, and you look right, and you see or red, left, whichever way you have to look, and you see a car coming full speed, not stopping. Would you still cross in the green? You're like, wait a second. No, 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 no. I'm not going there. Right? I'll let that car pass and then I will go, right? It's that simple. You have to understand what's going on around you as well. You have to understand the structure. Nothing is wrong with silver. Silver is going down. That's okay. Silver is still in consolidation. Right? Silver hasn't gone anywhere. Silver is still doing what it needs to do. So let it go do what it has to do. When it's finished what it's going to do here, it's going to give you that trade. Just relax. See, that's why many traders can't trade. I'm not panicking. If you're panicking, then you're in big trouble, right? If you're worried about it and you're panicking and you're wondering, oh, what the hell is happening? What everything is moving? Look, the candles, let's jump in. That's not how you trade. No stop loss, zero stop loss, not on any of my trades. I don't allow you to do that if you're in my group. You have to have stop loss. None of my traders should trade without stop loss. Let me just clear this to you. None of my traders should trade without stop loss. That's not how I teach them to trade. We teach them where and how they should put their stop loss. I don't do it, right? So I'm 15,000 drawdown on a half $569,000 account. Should I be worried? I don't see any reason for a stop loss there. I don't see any reason to worry. I'm already 69,000 in profit, so I'm 15,000 drawdown. That is going to, every single day I came in here, we were in drawdown. You remember? The first day we were 57, we closed at 64. The second day we were at somewhere, I think, but about just 1 or 2,000 drawdown. We closed at 66. The third day we came in, we were about 4,000 drawdown. We closed at 69. We're in drawdown today. Let's see how we close tomorrow. And none of those trades were winning trades. They were just break-even trades. Those 1,000-2,000 are break-even trades, but they're break-even positive. See? That's not the winning trades I'm telling you about. Those are just break-even trades that build the account slowly. When we get one winning trade, the account goes up 5-6%. Right? That's the difference. So no need to worry. Don't panic. Understand how to trade. Silver is looking for a nice buy if you're not in it. If I wasn't in the silver, I would have bought silver right now, right here. I'm telling you what I would have done if I wasn't in silver. Right now, right here, I would click buy. Let me show you how it's done. You go here, silver, quick trade. We're not going to take 50 because we already have 50. We're going to take 10,000. We're going to say buy. I can afford 10,000. I can't afford another 50 there, right? Great. That's what you do. You go and you click on the silver immediately. We got a 10,000 buy, yes. Right here, right now, buy it. That's the confidence in the analysis I do. You will see that trade tomorrow. All of you will see it tomorrow. You're here, right? Maybe you guys like it. We might even extend it a couple days more next week. How many of you are up for that? I was hoping I was going to see about 300 yeses immediately, right? Sounds like the yeses took too long to come. I'll figure out. Maybe we'll do another session sometime, right? So I took the 10,000 just to show you that I would have taken the trade there, right? Basically, if I didn't have my trade on, that is what I would have done immediately. You saw me do it actually in a number of places. I remember when this one broke that low, I took the trade. Previously, I think this is about the third or fourth silver trade I'm taking for you guys. So it's not new. And none of them were closed in losses. They closed with a 1 or 2 pips loss. Those are break even. Most of them actually closed for a couple thousand profit. Right? So what else is happening in the charts? Nothing. Let me show you again why I don't like the pump. Because it's not going anywhere. See, it's not going anywhere. That's why I don't like it. But this is not so much the analysis. This is so much more my experience. Because by the analysis, this is a buy. My experience says to hell with it. I don't need that. And that is why we keep you in our room, lifetime access for free. Once you join the course, you don't have to pay to stay in the room. You have lifetime access. Let me explain to you what lifetime access means. We had a trader in the room who left after about a year because he was a contractor kind of guy. He had a contract somewhere for about a year or 2. He came back 2 years after, wrote me and said, hey, I'm back. I feel like I want to learn to trade again. Can I join the room? I was like, you don't have to ask me. You're in the room. You just have to log on. Don't lose your password, log on. Because if you lose your password, then you have hell to coming back. You have to send me a lot of different documents to make sure you are you and you're not somebody else, right? So getting in is once you're in, you don't get taken out. But get back in, don't do that. Remember your password, you're coming back. Right? Pretty easy. So after 2 years, the guy came back and he's learning to trade again. That was about a year ago. So I think he's probably doing well. I haven't heard from him. Right? And the reason, good. Emil said a good thing. He said he's not sure about the silver. And the reason you are not sure about the silver is simple. You don't have the experience I have. You don't have the knowledge I have about the silver. That is why, not only the silver, about basic understanding of structure. That is why you don't feel comfortable with that trade. I feel very, very comfortable with that trade. I'm super comfortable. I can close the charts and walk away with that silver trade. And don't come back to the charts. Literally, silver was running for me all through the year end. Excuse me, guys. So 1 second. This cough is getting worse today. You mean the payment document? It's a bank statement it's a bank document. When you pay through bank, you don't have to worry. Right? When you pay through bank, it's the safest way to pay. Because you can reclaim that money. You know where that money went. So if it doesn't come to me, you can retrace it and recall it. Right? But it's coming. There is no, I'm doing this for a couple of years. So there's no problem with the bank payment. It's absolutely the safest way to pay, actually. So we'll watch this trade. We took this one live. Let's see what else. Let me see what else we can look at for a trade. The euro yen, we have the entry order in that one. The CAD yen, by the way, let me show you guys. Remember yesterday I was telling you, you shouldn't, if you bought the CAD yen, move your stops because I don't like it. It's going to come back down. When for all the viewers in here, when I say to you, I don't like it, put that in inverted commas. It means structurally, that trade doesn't look to me like it's going to go. I see a structure there that's developing different, but I'm not. If I was in my room, in my London webinar, I would say, okay, guys, we're looking at this structure. We're looking at this pattern. So very likely it's going to do this. In here, I'm saying, well, I don't like it or I don't believe it's going to go because I cannot tell you guys about all the structures and patterns that you have no clue what they are. All right? If I start doing that, then all of you would leave because you wouldn't even understand what I'm saying. So I'm telling you, okay, I don't think it's going to go. I don't believe it's going to go. I don't like that one. In other words, what I'm saying is I see a pattern that you can't see. So remember yesterday what I was saying, but this one, it was breaking out to go. I was like, guys, be careful. Remember, I don't like it when they do like this and they don't go. That means they're going to come back. Magic, right? Go look at the webinar. I'm not kidding you. This is live stuff and it's recorded. Go look at the webinar. That's exactly what I say. I don't like it for the buy anymore. We were looking to buy it, right? We wanted to buy it. We still want to buy this. Why do we still want to buy it? Well, I'll show you. Let me, oh, sorry, not good. Yeah, let me just erase that. Yep. Let me show you why we still want to buy this. It's still an up move. That has not changed. What has changed is the pattern. And that is why I'm telling you it's not as simple as a 1, 2, 3, right? If you were a 1, 2, 3 Elliott Waiver guy, you'd say, oh, we have our ABC, let's buy, it's going, right? And then you get this and you have nothing more. You don't know what to do. You're lost. As an Elliott Waiver, you're lost. You totally have no clue what's happening here now because you just had your ABC and now it is supposed to go and it's not going. It's coming back. What the hell just happened? Well, we know what happened. We don't just put ABCs. The wave, the way we analyze wave is different from that. We don't just label ABC and that means it has to go. We don't tell the chart what it has to do. We look at what the chart is doing, analyzing and said, hey guys, we were looking for a buy, but structurally it's changing. The pattern is getting more complex. Put it back here, and that means we're going to come back somewhere around this area. Very likely, if they make a flag here, this could be a good sell for this and probably go back up. Not necessarily this pattern, but that is one of the options of the pattern they can make. You see why I can't talk to you guys like that? Because a lot of you are lost already. What is he talking about? Why is he drawing those lines like that, right? It could be, there are a number of variations, but that's one of them, right? My traders immediately, when we talk to our traders like that, they know what you're talking about, right? No, this pattern has a specific name, we give it. This pattern has a specific name, we give it. It's a very funny name, so I'm not going to say it here just not to get myself in trouble. One of my traders give it that name. Maybe he's even in here, right? He just gave it that name, and it works perfect because we have seen it a number of times, right? So it's not the expanding flat one. Who is it? No, this is not the squeeze. This is the fool me flat. This one we call the fool me flat, right? So if our traders are here, they will know why that is funny, right? Because it's a different structure, but we just give it that funny name because actually why he came up with that name is because we have a flat and they break, they're supposed to go, right? But they didn't go and they come back. We see that structure. We saw this about 2 years ago and we actually followed a lot of them. We've identified a couple of them, right? So the guy said that flat fooled me. So they start calling it the fool me flat. And from there, it just, that name just stayed there. It's a more complex pattern. It's just making a more complex pattern actually. So we might get a sell here and then get the buy, but you want that buy, guys. If not today, next week you get that buy, you want it. And if you get into that buy, you can keep that buy, well, until you start seeing a bigger correction. And the reason you want that buy, let me just take this out and show you. I don't know how else I can try to help you guys with all of this stuff because it's complex. It's not that easy. I'm trying my best. Let me see. Remove all drawing tools. It's if you see when they make this consolidation here and they take off, you see when they make that little consolidation there and they take off, what happened? So now they're making that little consolidation here. When that take off, you will get a move like that. You see this consolidation there? See that take off? If you're in that trade, all you have to do is add some more trades to it, right? So watch that. Watch this piece here and see what it is going to do. This can give you a very, very nice move. So if you understand that you want this trade, you definitely want it. So go back to the trade now and let's see if we're going to get in the trade. Not because you want the trade, you have to jump in it, right? How you know where this can come back to? This can come back all the way to the bottom here and then start moving. I can show you an example of that right on this chart, right? So this one, see where this came back to? All the way to the bottom. Not that one, that is in the correction. I have to go back to where they are. Good, this one here, right? So this was the first one. This was a small one, by the way, if you had that. I'm looking for the one, this one, for example, this. See where this came back to? All the way to the bottom, almost to the bottom before they take off. So it varies. It depends and it varies and it's changing, but that does not change the structure, right? Like I said, if you start understanding this thing, trading becomes a joy because you're not stuck with all kinds of, you notice my charts, no indicators, no fancy stuff in it, nothing, right? No 200-day moving average, 50-day. I see one guy has 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average, 10 hours moving, 10 days moving average, 1 day moving average. I'm like, what the hell are you moving with all those moving averages in your chart? You can't trade. It's just a waste of time, right? It's like you're 20 years and you're still riding a tricycle because you can't balance a bicycle, right? It's a waste of your time. Those things don't help you in your trading. They're not telling you anything. Look at the pin bar, right? They're not telling you anything. It's a waste of time. Learn to trade by understanding what the patterns are doing. I've been showing you this every day here live. Watch those patterns, watch what they're doing, and then go, right? No, not that the MACD, and we don't use, by the way, as a myth, let me just clear this up with a lot of you. We don't use the MACD to trade. If you notice, I don't use the MACD to trade. I never said because the MACD is doing this, I'm doing this. And my traders know that. We don't use the MACD to enter a trade or do any. We don't use any of those stuff to enter a trade. We don't use the trend line to enter a trade. We don't use a fib to enter a trade. Those are not reasons to enter a trade. Those are tools, right? Those are tools to aid you to understand what structure you're looking at, right? That's what we do. We just use them as a possibility to tell you what that structure is doing and what that structure looks like, right? That's exactly, we use all of those tools to say, hey, this is the pattern we have. This is what the pattern is doing. This is what it looks like. This is what it's likely going to be. And if it's going to be that, we want to trade. If it's changing and you're in the trade, get the hell out. If it's not changing, then stay with the trade. That's it. Nothing else. So there is a myth out there because I use MACD. People say, hey, he's probably using that MACD to trade, right? No. So we'll put this like that. That's incorrect, by the way, but I'll put it just for you, for the safety of you guys. And we look at it and let's wait to see if we get a consolidation here. See that up there? If you get one more of that here, you'll get a good drop. And that would be a good trade. So go to the 1 hour and wait for it, right? We had a small one there. If you take that, it's not going anywhere. I think they're going to make a bigger one. Can you go over the dollar index? If we have some free time, we're going to do that, but I'm not interested in dollar index. I'm interested in trade right now. And I don't see anything besides silver that we take that could go, right? Besides silver, oh, the euro Swiss. Let's go look at the euro Swiss. That is a good trade you want. Euro Swiss. My traders, can you guys scan all your charts and tell me where there's a trade set up? But this is the trade you want. It hasn't broken. Remember yesterday I think yesterday I was telling somebody, if you bought this, you're going to get yourself, if you sold this, you're going to get yourself in trouble, right? Because this is not going anywhere as yet. US yen, we looked at it already. It's not ready. The trade itself is not. I think we have an entry order there. I know we put the entry order in the euro yen. Right, that one is not ready to go to. We'll see. So this trade is pulling back against that impulse. Take a look here. See that move? You see how long this thing took and how deep it came? This is doing exactly the same thing. We want that trade. Never try to pick the top of a trade. Never try to think you know where that top is. If you sold this and you think that is the one that's going to go, you got it lost. You just lost one trade, right? Because that is not the top. And if you knew how to manage the trade when you sold there, you would probably get a break even. If you're good at structure and you sold there, you'll get a break even trade. If you're just the guy said, you have to sell it and walk away until it hit your stop loss or your take profit, well, his stop loss is probably getting hit very often because you just got your stop loss hit on a trade that you could have actually exited for break even. Exactly. If most of those indicators were created to make money. Let me clear out one myth for you guys. Most of those indicators were created to make money, to sell them. And people are still creating all kinds of stuff to sell. I'm not creating anything to sell. I'm teaching you what's in the charts. It's already there. What is there? How do you understand what's there? How do you learn to read what is there? And how do you take advantage of the patterns that you see? Anybody creating some stuff to sell to you, well, you know that's not trading. That's selling you stuff, right? That's a whole different story. You go into somebody's charts and they have too much stuff in it, find the exit. So everything made a spike. Nothing is moving right now. This is a good trade. We're interested in this trade. As soon as the trade setup is there, we'll get it. 15-minute red flag, Singapore. No, I would not take a 15-minute trade, but let's see. Unless there are two specific places we take 15-minute trades, not in this room. I mean, places in terms of where the chart is. I don't think Singapore has one of that. Do I have the Singapore dollar? Let me see. Darn, where do I have it? It should be lower, right? Let me see. Yeah, I have it. You have a 15-minute red flag for a downside. If I go to the 15, I don't think, in the first place, forget about that red flag for the downside. I can tell you it's not going down anywhere. If you're looking at this little piece here, that's dangerous. This thing is likely going to go up. Be careful. There's a very high probability of that going up rather than down. Look at the bigger consolidations, not the small ones, right? Because this 15-minute one could come down, but it might just do this and then go back up, right? So let me go into 15 and show you that. If the bigger structure is leading in one direction, and there's a little structure in the opposite direction, so like you have this. You see you have this little structure here showing you up. That will give you 1, 2, 3 there. And then you have this one. This will probably give you that. And then you're going to do that. This might be the dominant structure. See? So you may be right about this. It's just that you don't have any way. It's not going anywhere. It's going 3 pips or 5 pips, maybe 10 pips, and then straight up. And you will miss that trade if you focus on the sell. Right? What's the bigger structure? If you're talking about this one here, if you're talking about this here for the downside, it can be like that even. This you can't sell it. You can't sell it until it break that low. That's where your confirmation is that it's going to go down. So until it break that low. Right now, as I see it, they're in this up consolidation. And I think they probably have more up to go. Let's go into 4 hour. Oh yeah, they're probably going to go up much more. See? But once they go up and you finish, you're right about one thing is that you have it. This is going to be a down trade. Once this finish here, you're going to get one more impulse down like that. So you're absolutely correct about that, but not in the 15 minutes. Be careful with the 15 minutes charge. It will happen, but you will not have enough I don't like to put traders in 15 minutes, not even the new trader, if not even experienced traders, because once again, guys, let me just get this. Because they don't have enough. You have, if you're in a 1 hour, you will need about 6 hours to make a decision to get out of the trade. Meaning, like that's the minimum time, that's the maximum time limit you're gonna limit on the downside that you will have. You could have days to make that decision. If you're in a 15-minute trade, you might only have about an hour to make that decision. Most traders cannot make a decision for days, much less for hours, right? You have to make decisions. The lower time frame you go, the faster you have to make decisions about what you're going to do. Where is your entry point? What's your strategy? How do you get in? How do you get out? Is it changing structure? All those stuff, right? Unless you're using some kind of other stuff to change, well, then be my guest, do it, right? But if you trade the way we trade, you want to trade from the hourly and above. So you have enough time to relax and make your decisions. No need to rush. Spike twice and then drop. Yes, CAD will probably give us a sell setup like yen. The yen sell setup is much better than the CAD one. I see it. I'm looking at the CAD while you were actually typing that question. Those two spikes, right? So we're looking at this. Remember, the CAD is a sell, but we are looking for more upside. So the reason I think it's going to go more up, although you have those pin bars, as they like to call it, I don't think this is the one that will go down. They might just come here and go back up. So you might get a number of those pin bars here before you go, and then we might get it down. So I think we're going to have more consolidation. So I would only wait for a specific structure with a specific strategy we use for that to sell. So no sell setup there as yet, right? And if you want to sell it there, it's a dangerous place to sell basically. So you just wait, right? Not the sell setup. We're looking for a sell, but it's not ready. This would be a sell setup for us. It's just not ready to go. Let's see what else. So like if I was in my weekly webinar, I would say to you guys, hey guys, next week, look for a sell setup here, right? If you would know, this is what I would say, right? I would look at the structure and say, hey, there's a sell setup here. And then the chart will probably do this and do that. And somebody's going to come and say, hey, he said this thing is going to go down. Look, it's going up. And I would just be smiling at myself, right? Because the idea is that this structure is going to go down. How far and how high that structure retraces before it go down, we don't know. So we don't make forecasts on that. If we get a buy setup and we think it's a good buy setup, we will take the trade as a short-term trade. But on the downside, that's the impulse. So what I will give you is the direction of the next possible impulse, right? Nothing else but that, right? Pang going up for a sell setup? Not yet. It's going up. It's probably going to come down, but the sell setup is not there as yet. Let me see. EuroCAD is in the 4-hour running flat. EuroCAD, let me see. I have EuroCAD open. Yes, it's in a running flat 4-hour. Daily, probably 4-hour daily. Yes, that's it. I see Pang over there. No, I don't see the sell setup in it as yet. You think Pang totally upside or just completely running flat? Pang, no, Pang is just in a consolidation right now. It's a daily consolidation. They will go down more. But it's a daily consolidation. So how long will that take? Maybe a long time. Let me just show you very fast. Daily. See? Once I do that, you're supposed to immediately know why I say it's going to go down, right? So big picture, we're looking for downside. Right now, it's in this daily consolidation. It's pretty easy once you understand what you're looking at, right? Let's go back to the hourly. I don't like that. I see that little one there, but I don't like it because it will be good to get it back here to this point and then actually look for the trade to the upside. Aussie USD is in a consolidation too. It's probably going to go down more too. Crude seems to be consolidating before now. Yes, crude oil is consolidating for an up move. I think it's 4-hour consolidation. We don't have any trade setup there. I think this morning we were looking at it in our room. There wasn't any trade setup. If you want short-term trade, it's dangerous, but you can go for this short-term trade. Then you will get this consolidation, and then you can start to look for an upside. Now, this would be the first three waves in there for a flat. That doesn't mean it's going to go immediately. This one went actually, but you notice this one had a complex B wave in there. So I can't tell you, I can't forecast whether the B wave will be complex. But if the B wave becomes complex and start to actually showing me complexity, then I would say, hey, don't worry with the bias that we're getting a complex B wave. And I actually just did that yesterday on a pair that I just reviewed today. So anybody, not my traders, anybody want to tell me what pair that is? Let me see how many of you are paying attention to what I'm telling you. I just a change of structure where it was a flat, but then it comes to big old complex one. And I said yesterday, you guys be careful of this. Don't buy it. It's a complex pattern. It's going to go back down. And I actually repeated today. Cadian, 2 of you are paying attention, at least 3. Cadian, exactly. So we're looking for the buy. I came in Monday and said, hey, we're looking for a buy in Cadian. It's one of the greatest buys you're going to have. And then it break out. Everybody said, look, it's breaking out. And I was like, okay, don't touch it. I have a strong feeling it's going to go down back because we're looking at a complex B wave pattern, right? A more complex pattern. So we don't forecast it, but once it started developing, you see it, and you can see it if you understand to look at, if you're looking at waves the way I'm looking at it, the way I teach you to look at it, then you start seeing that. And then you start saying, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying, right? Or you see it before me sometimes. And then you said, you know what, yeah, I think I get that. We're not going to touch it. Or if you're already in the trade and sometimes you're already, all you have to do is move your stops. It comes down, take you out, and then you look for a buy from a lower point. See, it's that easy. I keep telling you guys it's that easy, right? By the time I'm finished here, you're going to really believe me because it's that easy. It's not difficult. This is the one. When I came in here Monday, I said, guys, if this started to break, we won this trade. I even give you guys an entry order here that we took off, right? There was an entry order here, and I managed that for you, and then we moved the entry order to this level, and I managed this way, and I said, you know, you want to take that off. We actually moved the entry order to this one, where if it was tagged, you should have got out, right? I explained that to you. And then I said, okay, if you're in, move your stops because it's coming back. Why? Because we saw the structural change. So I was warning you. I said to you, I don't like it. I have a strong feeling it's not gonna. What I'm saying to you is, hey, this pattern is what I see here. I just didn't tell you that part. In my room, that's what I said. Hey guys, this is the pattern I'm looking at. So there's a good chance it's going to do this. Be careful. See? You guys don't know all the patterns, so I can't explain that to you, right? Like I said, fool me flat, right? You don't know what that is. My traders know. So now they understand immediately what I'm talking about. Let's go. We're in one buy. We took silver buy. What else we wanted to trade? Nothing else, actually. I don't see anything else that is really doing anything that we should be very interested in. Euro came down. It's going back up. It's not moving down. I said that means they're just making a more complex pattern. That's all. A more complex correction. Once they start doing this, we don't have a buy setup there either, right? Even under 15, if you look at it, there is the buy setup, as well as you're not selling it. I would possibly say they will go one more up here before they come, because this is looking like a nice small one. But on a 15 minutes, I wouldn't advise we take the trade here. The euro, the reason you don't want to take that 15-minute trade there is because the euro is to the downside. This bigger pattern is likely going to go down. So even if this spikes up a little here, depends how fast it spikes, how fast it spikes and how fast it come back, this entire thing might be what we're looking at for the downside. So don't take that trade. If you're going to get that trade, if you want to take the buy, what I would allow it to do is break out of this consolidation I have here, this down move, sorry, break out of the down move. Don't reverse, just actually make a flag here, and now you can go for the buy. Because if you take this buy here, if you're good enough to get out in time, you will get out. But if you're not so good, and most likely you're not that good, and you might not be in front of your computer, many factors that might prevent you from getting out of the trade. And then you will, if your stop loss is here, and that's where your stop loss should be, you will take a loss on the way down. And it was a perfect good, it would be a very nice, good sell setup that you will miss, right? So this is not where I would, it's not a high probability trade. It's not a good risk to reward trade, at least for now. Can it go up? Yeah, I'm not telling the chart what to do. I'm just looking at the pattern that I see and deciding whether this pattern is going to give me a trade now or not. That's it, right? And at present, it's not giving me a trade. We took 3 trades on the euro so far this week, right? I think you guys remember that. Now, we don't have a trade in it. So you leave the euro alone. We're taking trades on silver. Maybe we'll get a trade on the yen. Maybe we'll get a trade on the CAD. Not the yen, the euro yen. Where's the euro yen? Yep, euro yen gone up back a little. So good for us that it's gone up back. So now we will know if it drops after that, that means it's in a consolidation that is going to break to the downside. Good, we'll be in a good trade. See? Euro Oz is making a running flat. We actually identified that this morning in our trading room. So we decided not to do anything. See? We're expecting this one here to come down a little. It did come down, but not as much as I thought. There's a small one. I don't think this is the impulse. That is still part of this running flat. They'll probably do that. You will get an impulse down, and then you might get one more of that, and they're going to still go down. We have this pattern already. I think if you're following me in my weekly webinar, you would have seen that pattern. I actually showed it 3 times, right? So if you're following the weekly webinar, you would know where that is. I showed one of that this morning to my traders, where it is a perfect pattern like that, right? And it goes to the opposite direction. We should have a copy somewhere here. Oh no, the copy was too big. That was in the daily, and this one is in the 60 minutes. So the copy didn't work. What is the stop loss for silver? 0. That's where my stop loss is, 0. If it goes to 0, then I'll consider if I want to come out of it. If it doesn't go to 0, I'm not coming out of it. That's simple. That's how I trade silver. At least once it's below 16, that's how I trade it. Peng Yen, make a running flat. Peng Yen, let me see. Yes, it made a running flat already, and it's going up. Peng Yen. It might not go very far. Let's look at it, see what pattern we're seeing in that. You already had this running flat. You can see it, right? You notice I have an entry order for buy above, not below. Although we had the line here, that is because we knew that was going to be a running flat and they're going to go up. So, yep, the buy might not be a bad idea. That is for my trading room. That's not for this room, right? So I'm not, like, again, I'm not making any trade calls. I'm just telling you what we do or what I would do. So that's not a bad buy entry order right now, at least. If it takes off, it's going to go. If it tags you, you just have to manage it for a small loss. Nifty looks ready for the next move. Let's take a look at Nifty. I may have skipped some messages because I don't see all of them. Let me see. Bitcoin and crypto is forming pattern for upside. Oh, we call those upside since a long time back, right? So let's go. We'll go to the upside just now. Let me see which one I was looking at just now. Somebody just put one after. I forget which chart I was going to look for when I look for the Bitcoin. Let me see. Peng Yen, we looked at the Peng Yen already. Okay, let's go look at Bitcoin. I missed the chart I was going to look at. See, there's so many messages, so you keep missing them. So Nifty, I was going to look at Nifty, and then we look at the Thank you. Yeah, wait for the breakout. Don't go in the trade without the breakout, because okay, this will be complex, but this pattern is not confirmed the triangle. Just so you know. It has about 4 or 5 variations of how it could develop. We teach you all those variations so you understand when and how to make the trades. There is, based on one of the variations of this pattern that looks like a triangle, this could come back all here and then go, right? That possibility exists. These triangles are very complex to trade, right? Because of how the patterns could change and develop. Bitcoin, let's go to Bitcoin. Okay. It came back up, it's going down, it's still going down, it's still within the consolidation. It's just making a bigger correction in here. No need to worry. I think we're making, you might get another spike, you might even get some more downside. If they break the low, that doesn't mean it's not going to go back. Let me just say, but if they break the low, what that means is we're going to come here and then we might at some point go down back. Right? If they don't break the low, they're probably going to continue to go. But you're looking for an upside. I think this pattern is clear in the daily. Look for the buy setups, not the sell. Right? You can actually see it. So if you get a buy setup here, this would be a perfect trade to the upside because you're looking for a trade like that. Those of you who trade Bitcoin, I don't trade Bitcoin. So that is what I would have done. If I'm trading it, that's what I would have done. I would have waited for that buy setup and then just take it because it's going to be a very nice trade to the upside. Pound New Zealand, what else? I think all the cryptos have that. Like this breakout, if you had taken that trade, you get out of it and then you wait for another breakout again. You're not going to get another breakout so fast. You're likely going to get one more spike. You're likely going to get this coming here, make another spike, come back here, and then go. More like that. It's going to develop. Okay, we are not going to look at all the charts one after the other. I just wanted the guys to see Bitcoin because I don't trade them. So I just looked at a few cryptocurrencies because I promised people I'll show them cryptocurrencies in here. We're going to look at the charts where we see trade setups. So let's see. You wanted my review. I know it's complex. You wanted my review in what? On which one? We're not doing reviews here today. We're trying to find a trade. Help us find a trade. Tell us which way you see it set up, and I would look at it and tell you if that's something I would trade. basically. Make sure there is a setup there. Don't just post any chart, right? Escort sell setups. I don't have that chart and I don't trade it. I don't think we don't want to take new charts, too much new charts. We want to go with the ones we trade with, basically. The South African rand, let's see. That has a setup in it. Okay, this might be a running flat. Be careful. There might be a running structure there, not necessarily a setup for a buy. Could be a sell. Could be a good sell. If they go down back, that could be a good sell. Right? They will have to break out of this structure before I get interested in any buy. Once they're in structures like that, you wait until they finish. I'm in a structure like that right now, struggling to get out, put it that way, right? Not struggling, but just so you understand, right? When they started, this is a big one. I'm in a small one. I'm in a tiny one, right? This is a daily, this is a 1 hour, very big. See the size of that structure? I'm in this little one at the top here, right? That little one at the top there, right? That very little one. When you get in there, they tend to like stay here for a while, and sometimes they can go, but they eventually break, right? 99% of them eventually break, right? Somebody was asking about the book Vic. I missed that. Okay, thank you. You guys can help answer the questions because I missed that one. Aussie yen sell setup. Let me look at Aussie yen. I have it. Yes, Aussie yen has a sell setup. We're looking at the euro yen already. We have an end short in the euro yen, so I wouldn't sell the Aussie yen and the euro yen because one of them. We choose the euro yen over the Aussie yen, but Aussie yen has a sell setup. If you guys are in the trader, you're looking at it. I already have an entry order on the euro yen. Let's see if we take the Aussie yen, we'll take out the euro yen. Okay. It's a short-term trade, but yes, it has a sell setup. There's actually a good sell setup here too. There's a nice small flag there forming right now. But we already put an entry order for the euro yen. I like the euro yen more. It might, I don't know if it's gonna go or not, but I like it more because of what euro is doing and what yen is doing. Aussie is also coming down, but I don't know which one is going to drop faster. That's the thing. The crystal ball doesn't tell you which one is going to drop faster, the Aussie or the euro. So I will go with the euro for now. Euro New Zealand. Let me see what Euro New Zealand. Nothing. On Euro New Zealand, you have nothing. Leave it alone. It's going up, but you have nothing to do there. Because there isn't a buy setup, there isn't a sell setup. If you just buy it, you're guessing that it's going to go up. If you sell it, you're guessing it's going to come down because there isn't a setup to say where it's going to go. Right? The pattern is in a correction. You're in New Zealand. Let me just put it for you. The pattern is in a correction. I'm looking at the chart, so that's what I'm saying, right? The pattern is in a big correction. And if they're going to break out of it now, we were looking for a running flat. That didn't happen. So kind of strange that didn't happen. We'll check back to see where we missed some part of the pattern. We might have missed something. We'll check back on that. But I think it could be an expanding flat, which means we could still expect this to go down. And then we'll go with the expanding flat because that is the most likely possibility right now. Right? So everything is just going down a little more. No need to worry. Silver is going down, Aussie is going down, New Zealand going down. The only thing going up a little is pound, right? Euro still looks downside. So maybe by the end of the day, we'll see the change in direction because this is definitely looking a little downside. I think this pattern here, even if it goes up a little, looks downside. The pound, as I said already, I'm expecting the pound. I don't think it's going to go very far, right? Because I think when I see patterns like these, I expect them to come back here. So they might go a little more, but then I expect that to come back here before they go. We have seen many of those patterns. So if it is going to repeat that pattern, then we would look for the sell rather than the buy. In terms of buying it here, not a good idea. Not one that I like. Right? Let's go. Aussie. Same. We're in a consolidation and they're pulling back against this one here. So I think they're going to come down more. Right? I think this is a running flat. And this is going to come down more. They may go back up. They might come back. They might go back up. So you might get a bigger consolidation here before you go. Right? It's just going sideways, basically. Down, but sideways. So New Zealand, pretty much the same thing. Down, but sideways. This one is not going so much sideways. This one is going more down. But it's pulling back against this here. Right? Actually, we are pulling back against the bigger structure, which is this. Right? We're pulling back against this one. against this piece here, because if the whole structure ends here, if the whole structure ends here, then we're going to go up. If not, we're going to make something here. You have to make more consolidation and then drop. So you wouldn't have anything. Where's the bottom on silver? 0. That's the bottom. You can't go below 0. So don't worry. Put your risk at 0. Why worry? It's still in the, put the chart like this. I don't know why traders take trades and they get so worried, so nervous. What is it doing? It's still consolidating. Let me show you some past consolidations so that you don't start panicking. I don't know. If you're panicking like that, your trading career is already damaged. You can't trade if you do that. So let's look at one of these patterns. I'm just going to show you one so you guys. So let's look at this piece. You got an impulse. You start to make the consolidation. You see that? So let's say you bought on this low. It goes up there and it spikes here. What do? Show the computer through the window because you think, oh my God, look, this thing is going to drop now, right? Look where it's going. Look, I'm going to put a line here so we can look at that in the 60 minutes. And let's go 60 minutes so I'll find it. Let's go backwards, see where it is. Maybe this will be a little learning experience for you guys. Too much panic in trading. The reason you guys are panicking and jumping so is because you don't know what the chart is doing. You're chasing the candles. The candle is going down. Oh my God, look, it's going down. We have to sell. Oh my God, it's going up. Like, so let it go down. We're looking for a buy. We're buying. I bought already. Tomorrow you will see where it's going. So if it's going down, let it go. Here's a good one, right? You got an impulse up. It came down, it started to consolidate. So let's say you look at this and you thought, this one is going to go. You got that, this one here, and this is going to go. Let's say at that point you thought so, right? So you went and you bought here, just like we did. We click here. It go up a little and it started to drop. What do? Most people panic. They get out of the trade. They jump, they panic, they start, oh my God, look what's going to happen. Look, it's falling. Look at this candle. This candle is big. It's huge. One big red candle. Look at that. So what happened after the big red candle? Forget about the big red candle. What happened after the big red candle? You want to see what happened? Look, the trade you were looking for happened. But you guys are so glued to the candles. You're glued to the color. You look at that one candle and you start to panic over nothing. And the only reason you're doing that is because you don't understand structure. If you understand structure, you know what it will do. Let me repeat that. If you understand structure, you have a very, very high probability of the chart doing what you see if you can read it correct. Because that's what we do all the time. Right? There's a 90% chance of this thing going up after this consolidation. So can this thing drop suddenly to this level and then start to do that? Yes, of course. So when you trade, you factor that into your trading. Right? You just factor all of those things into your trading because now you're like, okay, I don't have to worry about it. I know where it's going and I know what it's going to do. And if it does something else, well, then you start managing the trade to get out for the least possible loss. You don't need to worry so much. Right? If this is going to go down to the bottom, let me just show you that. Let's go back to it. What if this, let's take everything out. So, because nothing else is doing anything, so I'm going to help you guys with some knowledge, since nothing else is moving, right? So let's make an assumption that you're right and this is going to fall here. All right, let's just make an assumption that it's going to fall. You just have to factor in your trade, so when it comes here, your account doesn't blow up. All right? The size of your lots with the size of your account should not be. So if that happens suddenly, because if it happens suddenly and they drop, 1 second. If it happens suddenly and they drop, they're going to pull back at least 50%. If it happens suddenly and they drop, they can pull back more than 100%. If it happens suddenly and they go up, they will come back. If they happen suddenly, they will come back. Because these are directional markets. The market has a direction, and the direction for this one is upside. Can it come back? Yes, it can come back. It always does. Am I expecting this one to go back very deep? No. Would I stay in the trade if it is going back that deep? Well, if I have no choice, if it happens while I was asleep, I wouldn't be worried about it. I'll just have to come back and look for a better entry at the lower point to see if I still have the possibility to take another entry, right? If I get a setup, or if I just have to wait for it to come back up. That may take a month or two, basically, right? And it happens. So what you're looking at is, I'm looking at this little consolidation. I don't think that is going to be a drop. And even if that is going to be a drop, this is what it's likely going to do with patterns like that. It's going to drop like this, and then it's going to start to pull back like this for the next drop. So should I panic, or should I just wait for that pullback, take profit out of it, and then sell the sucker? See, it's not like it's going to drop and go away, right? The only reason you're panicking is because, oh my God, I don't know what it's going to do now. You really don't know what it's going to do. That's why you're panicking. Everybody, not one person, people who don't understand it. That's what happens to them, right? They say, oh, but it can fall. Maybe it can fall, but it doesn't just fall crazily. There are patterns that, happens for it to start falling, right? You see the patterns, and then you know they're going to fall. You see a pattern like this, and you know, well, yeah, this is likely going to fall, right? So you see a pattern like this, and you know, well, this has a probability of coming back here and go, or just taking off, right? You see a pattern like that, the probability for that pattern is upside. I can show you a couple hundreds of those patterns. I think I just showed you guys this one. Probabilities to the upside. You see this one, the probabilities to the downside. This one is the too big one, but look at the smaller one inside. See that? Probability upside. Look at the smaller one in there. Probability downside. You can repeat, you can do that all day long. So why panic? I hope that helps. Because by the next 2-3 hours or next 4 hours, you will watch that thing go up and you're like, oh, right. That is a problem. Yes, over risking is a big problem with traders. You take a too big lot size because you think it's going to go now, so I want to go all in, and you get all out. You always have to manage your risk, right? You see, you remember I said I'm not going to take more than 10 because more than 10 will put my account at risk, right? I just took the 10 for you guys just to show you, because that wouldn't put my account at risk. I'll probably be, I don't know, 20,000 drawdown or something like 14. I'm at 14,000 drawdown. So I'm not in panic mode, right? I have $569,000 in the account. So 14,000 is not putting me in any panic mode. I can go and sleep, right? I'm not going to take a lot size that will put me in that condition that if it drops, I have to panic. Sorry. You see, that's all you have to do. You don't have to, you have to manage your trade so that you don't get in that situation. How much we made is relative to tell now. When we close Friday, we can tell you, but I can tell you how the days go. If you look at it, we're in drawdown. Drawdown is not a loss until you close the trade, right? So like I said, every single day we came in here, we were in drawdown. The first day we were at 57. We closed the day at 64, right? The day we closed. The next day we were at, I think, 2,000 drawdown. We closed the day at 66. Those are not winning trades. Those are break-even trades. The break-even trades give you 500, 1,000, and so like that, right? So I don't count that as winning trades. Those are break-even trades. The main thing is I close my account without a loss on it, without a big loss on it, right? Those are break-even trades. Those are trades that didn't go, but I managed to get out of them for break-even. So when I'm wrong, I try to get break-even. When I'm right, I get 3, 4, 5% in the account. Right? So what you were seeing, the 60,000 before that, was on 3 trades that I was right on. I took about 20 more trades that were break-even trades. They probably give 500, 1,000, something like that. If you can look at, I think I should be able to show you that. Let me see if I can show you the trades. So you can just look at trades, basically. Let me see if that is possible. Historic reports. Let me see if there's anything. Let's see if the trades show up here. Open. Like you can see, it's not a lot of trade. This is only for this year, I think. I'm not sure what period this is for. Let me see where the periods, right? So you can you can literally see, right? A lot of small trades that go, right? And then you see one trade 30,000, right? You see a lot of small trade, and then you see one trade 30,000, right? You're gonna see a lot. Well, then the other this is this year. The other two trades were 15, and one was something like that. They were on last year. So you see one trade like that, 30,000. And then you see a lot of small trades, right? What you're seeing, this, small close, small win, these are break-even trades. They don't really build your account. They just keep your account at a balance, which means you were wrong about the trade didn't go. you know, it didn't do what you wanted to do, so you get the hell out of it, or you know, whatever, you're breaking, right? But if you're good at managing those break even, your account grows very slow, slightly by $1,000 or so. $1,000 not a lot in this account, right? But then you get the right trade. You take 6 trades, you get 4 break even, you get 1 small loss, and then the big trade come and bam, you get 30,000. So you lost at 2,000, you break even for a 4,000 profit, that is even, and then boom, you get your trade. The 5th trade is the trade you were looking for. So what we're looking for in silver, let me show you, right? So the trade I'm looking for in silver, it's not in here. It's not these trade that I took and closed in here. It's this trade. That's going to be about $60,000. And then a consolidation, and then that trade, that's another $60,000. And then a consolidation, because trade should take me above this level. It's not going to go in one trade, so I'll have about 20, 40, 50 trades to get to that level. Because every time I think there's going to be a big consolidation, they make like this, they stop. I think they're going to do a big consolidation. I'll get the hell out of it, and I'll start buying back at the lows here to go. So I may make about 4 attempts at the lows before it go. Boom, I get that one. Well, not so big. They'll probably stop here. And then they'll go into deeper consolidation. And when they start to do this, we will sell. And then we will buy back at the lows to go again. They're going to repeat that same. So every time they do that, you take out 30,000, 40,000 in my account, which is 5-6%. And every time they're in that little sideways move, like the guys go, oh, where's the low? Where's the low? The low is right there where they are. They're in the consolidation, right? So the idea is not that, you know, you panic about it. Trading is fun for me. I don't know why people make trading so stressful, right? So if you understand, how do you do that? You have to understand structure. Let me repeat that again, because I don't know how much time I have to do. You have to understand structure. You have to learn to read the structure. If I give you a book in a language you don't know, I cannot call you a dunce. I cannot say, hey, you don't know to read. It's just that the book is not in a language you know. That doesn't mean you're not a good trader because you can't do what I'm doing here now, or you can't read the charts. It's just that you haven't been trained to do it. You haven't learned the language of the charts, right? You are trying to read the chart as if you're trying to read a book in a foreign language. You can't understand what's there. You might be a genius, but if you don't know the language, forget about it. So you have to go into these, understand those patterns, learn how they behave, look at them, figure out what the pattern is, all those stuff. It's a lot of stuff. That is why it's 6 weeks of training. When you learn all of that and you get continuous support from us for a year or two, you become a successful trader, right? So should I panic in that little consolidation? No, I know it's going to happen. I know what they're doing. And the word know from knowledge, I know what they're doing because I've studied this. I have the knowledge of the structure. I have created a system that has enhanced what Elliott Wave did, that has made it better, make it more accurate, that is working good because my traders are successful. 60% of them are very successful, right? Right? No, it does not change pattern. Not because it took out the bottom. See, that's the thing. It hasn't changed any pattern. Taking out the bottom is not changing pattern. You might have heard me say that 1 or 2, that if they hit this bottom, it's going to change the pattern. Those are specific patterns. As far as this pattern is concerned, no, it hasn't changed. It is the same pattern it was before now. So I'm still expecting it to do this. As far as it stands right now, I'm still expecting it to do that. You mean how? This is an investor account. This is not my account. The 500K account is an investor account. I have more than one investor account. By the way, my plan is to not have to. My plan is to open a fund management very soon. Hopefully, if I can get enough clients by the end of this year to consolidate for about 10 million, then I'll probably go for that. That's what I'm looking for. So if any one of you out here have $10 million, give me a call. Right? If any one of you listening here, and I know some of you might have it, just give me a call. Let's start opening the fund and make money. While silver is still cheap, we can do that. So let's go back to where we were trading, right? I think my group has a lot of very good traders if I want traders, if I need to hire traders. That will be my first choice. The people I've trained. Why silver, not palladium? I think I've explained that before too, but I'll go again. The reason I'm trading silver, not any other metal, one, because I know it very well, and two, because it's very cheap. The cheaper one, and that is, of course, copper, but I don't trade copper that much. I just like silver, right? So palladium is much more expensive. So because of that, and because of where silver is too, it's also structurally where it is. It's at a historic low in the sense that if you go back and you check where the lowest point it was, and you check the inflation rate and all of that, we are pretty much at that point. The Elliott Wave book, you only read it to learn the names of the patterns. That's all. Everything else that is in there, we will not be using. And there is no book for it. You can only learn that stuff. Most of those stuff that I will be teaching you, I personally created them. Those are my research findings. So if anybody out there is trying to steal it and sell it, maybe you might find one or two. I don't think I have that. The good traders with me are still with me. Some of my top traders are still with me, most. So if one or two person out there trying to, buy a course and go and sell stuff, that's okay. You can decide if you want to buy it from a second-hand person. Can you suggest New Zealand and Euro consolidation still can run Euro Oz? Yes, that's a consolidation. We're still expecting. I showed the pattern already. We're still expecting downside. Hire you as an analyst. You want me to make you the presenter right now and you show me what you can do? Let me make you the presenter. You're going to show some charts, so then I'll decide if I can hire you. Give me a yes. Okay. Rajesh, I think you just joined. For the first time, you're in the group with us. You're the first time in any of my webinars or so. By the way, how many of you are here for the first time ever? Okay, that is why. From your question, I know, because we've been doing this for 3 days and I do a lot of webinars here. I don't use them, but that doesn't mean I'm not knowing where my stop loss is going to be. I know where I want to exit based on structure. If the structure changes, I'm out of the trade. For the whole week, I've been showing people how I do that. Trades I take, I exit, I come back, I explain to them why I exit that trade, what I saw in the structure and all of that. You can go back, look at the webinars. They're live and they're on YouTube. You can see them. So at least one person seeing me for the first time. You know how many million people out there haven't seen my single of my video or don't know I exist? So you guys, it's up to you guys to help share it, right? You're gonna save somebody's soul from doing something wrong, right? So is this gonna go back up? Let's go. Sorry, I got distracted. We were going back into this. We did the weekly, we did the daily. Let's go do the 1 hour now. So what we're looking for is this. We're still in this consolidation. See that? We're still in that consolidation. So the mere fact that it breaks the low doesn't change anything, right? That didn't change anything. So what we're still looking for, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still expecting this to go back here. I'm expecting it to come back down and then go. If I'm wrong about this trade, and if I'm wrong, which is very rare, any trolls in here? Okay, it's very rare because that really pissed them off when I say that. And I'm very rare, which is true. You can go check my chart. Let me show you guys, since we have a second, let me show you guys a chart. One of my trader dig up that was, how much, I can't see it right now. Oh, I don't want to show the chart from there. If you get a copy of the chart from, who was it? Gaurav, right? Gaurav, if you have a copy of the chart not from Slack, post it in here. I'll open the link. I don't want to share it from Slack. If you have it, that is the one from I think you took it from my Facebook page, not from Slack. Post it a little later when you can, right? A forecast we made some years back that worked like magic, literally. So there are many, but this one was amazing because I forget about that one. That one was 2004, I think. I totally forget about it. So here's what we're looking for. This to go up. This is the trade we're buying. So when we bought here, that's a good buy. Now, if we're wrong about that and it drops like this, for those of you who are in the trade, who took it at your own risk, if it drops like this and it starts to do this tonight, it will likely do that. It's not going to go away. You will exit that trade for break even. That is if it starts to do this. If it just do that, leave the trade alone. If it starts to go slowly, you see this pattern here? Remember I explained that why I exit that trade when I was in the buy. So let me just show you guys back this again. I was in the buy here on Tuesday, I think, or Monday. It went up. We were looking for it to break this top. It didn't break that top, but it started to come down. And I didn't get to exit it. So I actually allow it to start. When I see it start doing this, I exit here, break even. Drop, we bought here again. This one started to do that. It started to make that. I exit there. Drop, I bought here. I'm still in that one, and it dropped here again. I bought a second one for you guys. So now what I'm expecting it's either going to do this or it's going to do that. Even if it goes a little more, it's either going to do this or it's going to do that. If it does this, you keep the trade. If it does this, you exit the trade because it's going to drop again, and then we'll buy again here, and then it's going to repeat the process. So take a snapshot of that so you know how I will manage my trade, and that might help you manage your trade as well. Right? Don't worry. I think once I told you guys already when one of my, I don't know how many of you were in that weekly webinar, you should never be afraid of the charts, right? The chart is your friend. Brokers are not there to hunt your stops because unless you're scalping, then they're going to do it. The chart is your friend. It's good. If you know to read it, then it's going to help you. It's not there to kill you. You shouldn't be afraid of it, right? Because it's doing what you want. It's really, if you read the chart properly, you understand the chart properly, you become friendly with the chart. So you know what it's going to do. It's telling you what it's going to do. It's actually telling you what it's going to do, right? You just have to know that, right? Unless you drop asleep while it's saying, well, then if you drop asleep, don't worry if you drop asleep. I actually leave my trades on for months. Literally, that 30,000 one I showed you there, that was made in December. I went and celebrate. For 1 week, I wasn't in the chart. For 2 weeks, I wasn't in the chart. My traders will tell you I didn't even go in my trading room. Because first I was doing repairs in my apartment here for a week. I had no connection. I didn't have a computer on. All was disconnected. I was using my phone whenever I had hotspots, outside of my building, because everything was disconnected. Repairs were going on here. And then the second week, they were fixing things up. But I got some internet, but I still wasn't in the chart. And I had a trade running. I went to sleep that whole 2 weeks and didn't even look at the charts. They were 30,000. That's a 30,000 trade. It was running all time. Go back and look at the dates. Let me just show you again. Look at the dates. I'm not kidding you guys. And my traders will swear to, they can tell you, I wasn't in the group for 2 weeks in December. In January, probably. Ending December, January. A whole week in December and a whole week in January. I wasn't in the room. Let's look back at that trade so you can see. You will see the date. What date is open? They have the date when, look, open, close. Open, close. They don't have the dates here. It's a pity they don't have the dates because you would have seen. That trade ran for a long time. All through the thing. So I go to sleep well. You don't have to worry about when you're asleep. Sorry. I have trades on. I'm coming every day and explaining to you. The reason I'm taking a lot of short-term trades here for you is to show you how we take trades. Right? The reason we're taking, if those interested in the webinar, stay to the end of the thing. I'll talk about it. If you're interested in the training course, stay to the end of the webinar. We'll talk about it. Right? Or as Victor said, send me a Skype message. You have my Skype there. Victor just posted. I'm not too, we don't want to talk too much about the course here because I don't want people to say, hey, you're just trying to sell course. Because they say that. I'm trying to help you because you asked for it. A lot of you have been asking me to do this. So I do it, and now, people going to take it how they want. It doesn't matter to me. Let's go back to what we're doing, right? So you can sleep on those trades. You can go on holiday in those trades and come back. If you're in the right direction long term, very likely they will go. See? If you know how you're doing it. How many first timers in here? That's a good idea. We can put up a poll. Vic, can you do the poll as a thing? I think you're in as a panelist. Do you have access to the poll? Check, see if you have access. Let me know. Set it up. Just ask who's here for the first time, who's here like for this week, and who is here for a long time. Oh, you don't. Let me see if I should be able to. Let me put it up. Okay, I'll just make 2 questions. One question very fast. Add a question. Let's go. Let me just bring it over here so it wouldn't disturb the charts. Okay, I'm trying to move it away from here. Good, so it doesn't disturb the charts. Let's go. Let's talk. Let's not let the poll disturb the thing. Let's go. Come back to what we were doing, right? So this trade, come back to it. This is what it's going to do. I'll go sleep tonight if this trade go or not. We want it to come here. We're going to get that trade. So all of you here, remember, we're going to get that trade. I'm going to get that trade. I don't know about you guys. Sorry, I shouldn't say. I'd say I'm going to get that trade. You may close your trade. I'm going to get that trade. We have one more day only for it. I hope we had another week. So I'll show you. But if not this Sunday, next Sunday, I'll show you that trade. Gold is a little, it's, if you have to have I think if I have a 10 million, then I'll trade gold. If I have $500,000, I don't want to trade gold. I'll go with silver. Let's find the gold chart and do it for you. Where's the gold chart? Okay, we are still on the euro yen. We are still in the entry order on the euro, and that's it. You guys give me heads up. My traders, give me heads up if there is any trade going on right now, because I notice euro is coming down back, so maybe the euro yen might be tagged. Can you show us running flat, which is similar to running flat in euro Oz in educational purpose? Oh no, we're not gonna look at patterns here today. This is not structured for the pattern. This is structured for showing you how enjoyable trading is, how much fun trading is. This room is structured to show you how I trade. This is what I do. I go in, I talk to my traders, I drink coffee, I drink water. I just leave, go play with my son, come back, and all of that. So you see how I trade. The idea is to give you an insight into how I trade. And patterns we're not going to look at, but we will look at trades and discuss them as they go, right? So gold is in this consolidation. Leave it. Don't trade the gold now. The consolidation is very, very complex. It will take a long time to explain to you why it's not worth trading. Now wait until they finish the consolidations, and then you can get into it. Right? Right now it's very complex. You probably don't want to do it. Right? So what was the question we were going to ask? Who is the first time here? How many first timers? The first time, let's say this week, not only today, right? Let's say like you're the first time coming in these live thing, right? So it's going to be a yes or a no answer. Yes, and the second one is no. All right, that's it. A simple poll, a yes or a no answer. So let's see. I mean from this week, from Monday. So if you're, I'll post a poll for you guys. Don't worry, I'm sending out the poll. So where is it? Poll, question, add. No, I'm trying to post the poll. Okay, launch. I'm launching the poll, right? Are you here for the first time? It's yes or no. I just want to see how many percent people came in first time to see, right? Those of you who are following me a long time already understand and know how we do and what we do, right? So most of the trades we take will probably stay in drawdown until tomorrow, because I'm looking at them. I don't see any structural change happening in them. So they'll probably stay in drawdown, including silver. They'll probably stay there until tomorrow. Maybe it's going to move tonight or tomorrow. That would probably move. And then we'll get. So we have 238 people in here on only 139. 100 people, just click yes or no. What's the big deal? It's not like your name is there. We don't see anything in the poll. How many people on YouTube? They don't get to vote. Okay, I guess some people just wouldn't do it. 251, 242. So it's 500 plus, I should say. Yeah. So we could have actually fit everybody in the room today. It probably just a couple people wouldn't have made it. So it's better to put it in YouTube, right? So I'm hoping you guys just share this knowledge. You get people across here to learn the trade, right? This is just amazing the way it works. So let's go back to what we're doing. Let me just put back the arrows, because I want you to see where they're going to go tomorrow. When we come, these arrows are going to be here, right? So I'm expecting this to come back to about this level, somewhere here, not too deep. And then if I'm correct about it, I'm expecting them to come back here in a 3-wave pattern. And if we're correct about that, I'm expecting them to take off. If I'm wrong about it, they'll probably take off. If they come lower, let me just draw. I'll use different colors to show you if they come lower, what you should do, right? So let's say this drops suddenly like that, right? I'll change the color to yellow. Let's use this color. Right. No, that color doesn't make a difference. Sorry, let's probably use this color here. If they drop to this level, but they're not going to drop that low, but let's bring it like this. If they drop to that level, you want to see, I have to draw this because I don't know how else you want to see them do either this, or you want to see them do something like this. If they do something like that, exit the trade, because we're going to be looking for one more drop. Very likely they're going to go back up. Right? You see they drop there, they go back up. See they drop there, they go back up. You see they drop there, they go back up. Right? Rarely you see that case where they do that, right? So the worst case is you're going to get a break even. Don't put this horizontal light. Someone will. That line is just telling you here support and resistance. One guy actually was thinking about that. He has a lot of support and resistance line in his chart. Why is he saying he doesn't use it, right? It's just showing you where that should come back to, close to the top. I don't think they'll break the top. So don't expect them to break the top. They're coming close to the top, right? Okay, I think everybody have voted. Well, those who wanted to vote, voted. Let's see. I'll end the poll and I'll just put it up. So we don't have a lot of, we just have about 12% of the people, which is an equivalent of 21 people from what is here. So if you take 12% from 500, that's still a lot. We're here for the first time. So you guys can still help spread the word. So tomorrow we get 50% new people in the room. 50% of you here, 50% new people. I'm pretty sure you know a trader you can bring to the room, right? Who has never seen the work. But would it be possible to have a quick look at gold miners index, GDX? Let's see. We can do that. We have time. Nothing is moving to trade right now, right? Even the entry orders we're putting are not getting tagged. Yen is going back up, which is good, right? So euro is coming back down, which is good too, right? But the euro yen is not being tagged as yet, right? So I will leave those entry orders on. If I take them out, I'll tell you guys why I take them out tomorrow. Excuse me. Let's close this poll now. Let me stop sharing the results. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for coming. So let's go. But I mean, thanks for taking the poll. Let's go. Those who did. So we were on. Oh, you want a GDX, right? Let's see. GD. What is it? GDX. Oh, a lot of GDX came out. The first one, the second one, the third one, the first one, right? Okay. Let's go. Daily, weekly. That's all the chart we have. Oh no, we have more charts. We're possible looking for an upside. See, you've got a nice impulse here. There's a possibility this one, this consolidation. We have to look at details in it, but there's a good possibility. Watch the possibility of this doing this, coming back here and then go. All right. And even the possibility of breaking the low before they do that, because you could get a running flat in here again. So this piece, watch it. If they don't break the low, they can pretty much go high. I don't think they're going to go very high. It's more of a B wave pattern you're looking at. Right? Looking at possibility for correction, you go back. It's similar to silver, but not silver. But you can see, right? It's pretty easy. Let me just draw it for you and see if they look alike, right? I will tell you, look for an impulse, look for a correction, and look for another impulse. Is the correction complex? Very complex. So this is what we teach you. Understand what is happening there. If you know that, then you're likely going to get this. See? So that's how it goes. If you know that, you're likely going to get that trade. And that one trade you saw for 30,000 was how I got that. I made a number of attempts to it, and I see it. I know it's going to go, and then it went. Right, which is what we're repeating here again in silver. We're trying to get the next impulse to the upside. Right, so we made three attempts. We didn't lose anything in the silver trades. We made money in them, but not the money we want to make. Right, The money we want to make is when it break out of this consolidation and go. That is the trade you're looking for. That should be about another 30, 40, 50,000, right? That is this trade here. That is the next trade we're looking for. So if you're losing 3,000 at the bottom here, if you're losing 3,000, and I'll put a dot within that dot, that's a dot. Now, if you look at the distance, it moved from where we are, there's a dot in it. That's 3,000 we're losing. If it does this, multiply. It's going to do it. So let's go back into the pattern and see. If it's going to be if there's a pattern change for downside, I'll let you guys know tomorrow, but I don't see a pattern change for downside. What is that, Pedro? I don't want to open the link if there's something that might not be relevant, or or if it's anybody's else work, we will not open it. Oh, Ripple buy, let's see. Yeah, might be a little too early though. I would use this and then wait for the setup somewhere here. See? Use that one and then wait for the setup in there. Nothing is moving. Nothing is actually, we can't get tagged in the trades. We put the entry order. We put an entry order on yen. No, sorry, euro yen. Let me go back to the euro yen. I may change the euro yen to the yen if I think this is going to go down faster, right? If I think this is going to break down faster, I'll go. They're just going up. So let's see. We might even, it's possibility they will test the top. Test the top again and then break, right? Let's go to the euro yen. Then the euro yen will not be triggered. At least not as yet. Right, so I don't think this one is going to go way to the top, but like I said, if they go, we're not worried about that because we will be interested in buy only above that structure. Hong Yen, we looked at it. Right, it's going up. They're probably going to go up more because you're making an impulse to the upside. If you get a buy setup, you can take the trade. There is no setup in it right now. If you get a setup, we'll take the buy. We don't have a setup in it right now, right? No, I had a trade in silver already. I took a trade earlier in silver, and then I just took a small one for everybody to have some courage to show them you don't have to be afraid of the charts, right? Because people are pretty much scared of the charts. Like, oh my God, look, the red candles, they're going to go. So I was like, let me click a trade for you guys. So I just click at 10,000. So I have 60,000 exposure there now, right? Not worried about it. The 1 hour running flat. No, I think we could be looking at a more complex B wave in the development there. I will go with this, leave this as it is for now. Let's see if they just do something like this and then come down back. We'll go with a bigger flat in there like we have here. And then we will relook at the whole structure, right? But it's still going to be a B wave structure. So there is no reason to worry about it. See now, there would be no reason to worry about it. How high silver is top across, above 21, yes. The bigger picture is above 21. That's a trade we're trying to get, by the way. Are you opening trades differently in your investor account? Not sure what you mean by that, Alex. Differently to what? I'm actually showing you how I trade here. Basically, I'm showing everybody how I trade here for the whole week, right? What you're seeing here is how I trade. This is what I do, right? This is how I do. I'm showing you exactly what and how I do. I'm explaining my thought process as I go along with you guys. Why am I not closing this trade as yet? Why did I close that trade? Why am I taking this trade? What do I expect it to do? How would I manage it? How did I manage the trades that we did for the last 3 days, right? What am I looking at the trades we have on now? How would I, if they don't do what I want them to do, how would I manage them? So tomorrow when we come back, we'll just finish off all the trades we did, how we manage them and all of that. Let me see. So I'm not sure. Are you opening trades differently? We did running flat, short, long, yeah. The Euro Oz, I don't want to touch it because of the running flat in it. It's going to go back up. So we're not going to trade it as yet. We'll wait for some more confirmation. Could you look at Pong, New Zealand? Let me look. Let me tell you if there's anything there. Nothing there. It's going up. That's all. The trade was yesterday. You don't have a trade in it today. Yesterday afternoon there was a flag. If you bought it, you're doing well. Move your stops. If you didn't, then you have to wait for them to make another flag. It works like a PAM account management system or something similar. No, you guys will not get access to these accounts after this week. You will not see. I wouldn't be showing people after that. I asked the investor permission to show you the account for this week and to trade in it for this week, so you have an idea how I trade. These are people's personal accounts. I don't think I want to pressure anybody in showing their account anymore. What happens with it? So this is just this week because everybody has been asking for a long time. Can you show us how you trade? Can you show us? So I'm showing you how I trade. For 1 week, you get a view. 1 week is a very short time. It cannot tell you anything. It doesn't tell you how successful or how unsuccessful I could be, because Forex is kind of, for most people think things can happen. But at least you're getting an idea into my analysis method, my thought process, how I am working, what I'm looking at, how confident I am when I'm trading, what are my trades, how do I exit trades. You're getting an idea of what I do, right? You're not getting a full view of everything, but you're getting a clear idea of why did he close that trade? Why did he open it? Why is he opening this? Why is he buying silver now? What is he looking at, right? So you're seeing my analysis. I'm not giving you the details of the strategy, but you're seeing it as I do it, right? You just don't have the rules for it, right? Like the rules for why I would exit, the rules for why I would keep the trade and all of that. But you're getting a view into it, right? So basically that's all. So based on that and based on all my analysis that I do weekly, you can make a decision. Do you like this method? Would you like to learn this? If you're going to trade, you're going to trade with stops. That's just plain black. You will have to use stops in your account, because you will not have that. I'm not going to trust that you have that skill to not put the stop on. Until you yourself feel you can do that, right? I meant that you have a few investors account. That's why you say, so I would just curious how we. Oh, I pretty much take the same trade in all of them. I just pretty much go in, open them, and click the trades. That's all. Very rarely, if I take a trade in one of them and it will probably not be in the next one. That's rare. Your recorded revenue on Monday on your page on YouTube. You put the first day. No, the first day was not recorded in YouTube, and I don't think it was not recorded because it's so long. When I record it on the platform itself, it doesn't record well. People generally see 2-3% in the retail traders, or maybe successful the rest of it. No, our group has 60%. I have a lot of traders in here, so they know we take those polls. Like we did a poll just now. Our group has 60% success for the whole of last year, the year before, because we take the polls regular. Once every 2-3 months, we take a poll. So we know the success rate in our group is about 60%. Now, considering that we are always getting new traders coming in, right? So we don't let the new traders poll themselves. There's a question for them that I'm new, I'm not trading, right? So they don't. Of the people who are trading for at least 6 months, 60% are successful. This year, we made a plan that we want everybody to be successful. So what we are doing this year is we're taking the successful trader and attach a struggling trader to each one of them, right? We're starting to do that. I personally attach 2 people, 2 traders to 2 successful traders, right? I call them. I said, okay, can you help this guy take, and they take them under their wing, give them a couple of hours a day work, 1 or 2 hours a day, 2 days a week, keep them for a while, and then, put them in the right track, the right method. And I do one-on-one with my traders very often, especially if you're a struggling trader. I have a one-on-one after I finish this webinar here. I'm going to do a one-on-one with one of my traders. So struggling traders get access to that, but you have to be trading first. You have to complete the course, trade, don't see success, and then then I sit, because then I look at each of the trade you take, look at why you take the trade, what was your analysis, what you did, where you're going wrong. I try to figure out, because each person is different. It's individually, they're different, right? So basically, each trader will have his own fault, and then you have to find that fault so you can correct it. it's not comfortable, and I don't want to use the trading view charts because every time I post a trading view, I post one in on Twitter, right? You saw that one, the Euro one on Twitter. What happened? Immediately, there's a big thing of trading view and just one line of the chart. People miss the chart. They thought I'm advertising trading view. So because of that, I'm not using it to post anymore. Because when you do that, you get a trading view up at the bottom rather than the charts itself. Can you do a demo course so we can short-term here? A demo course. That's an interesting one. I never heard of that terminology. Consider this week a demo course. Consider this. Can you trade fundamentals, accelerate your analysis as a trader? We don't trade fundamentals, right? My trader is explaining something to you there, right? So we don't really trade the news. We trade the structure during a news event. It's a whole different way we look at it, right? So we're not saying if the news is going to be positive, we will do. We're saying, hey, I have a flag here. And if this flag is going to break during the news time and go, we want to either sell this flag or buy this flag, depending on whether it's a flag for upside or a flag for downside. That is how we look at news event as a possibility that it's going to go technically, but it's going to go really fast, right? We are sitting looking at the silver going back up, right? So you don't have to panic. You see how I trade? You don't have to panic. I'm just chatting with you guys and I'm telling you it's going to go back up. Relax, it's going to go back. I have to charge you guys for therapy, right? Should I take some fees for therapy? Stop panicking. Look at the charts. It's going to do what it wants to do, right? Relax. Relax, enjoy the show. Get your bears, get your chips. You're not going to learn very much in here, guys. What I'm telling you is not something I'm giving you new stuff. Go look at my webinars. I share more than that information there. So it's not, I have a lot of things on YouTube that I share. So, but that is not enough to make you a successful trader, a successful wave trader. Fundamental prediction of news is not necessarily a prediction. It's what those banks and all that, but they have information we don't have access to. Like I said, if you're an investor and you're an investment company or you're a bank, you trade different. We are speculators. We depend on different things to tell us what it's going to do. You don't have access to the resource and the information and a lot of things that those entities have access to. Friends in high places and all of that. You don't have that. So we as traders have to depend on one thing. We have to depend on the chart. The chart is your friend. Thanks, Mark. By the way, Mark is someone who just took the course. He took the last course. And he's a very brilliant guy. He's an academic, so he can tell you about the course more. Hey, look at his one. Look at the video he told you, and you can look at the end. He's there, right? For someone who's absolutely new to it, just look at it. You can see what he's learned, whether it's different. See how the magic is working? It's going up back. Don't panic. It's going to go back up. The chart is never going to run away from you and do all those crazy things people tell you. New Zealand Swiss. Let's go look at New Zealand Swiss. Short term, it's a sell, but not a very long one. Very short term sell. It's gonna come back up. Don't. You see, that is the thing. It's a short term sell, but it can do like this, and then it's gonna do like that, and then it could go down. Now, if you do that, you'll probably take a loss if you don't manage the trade correctly. Or it could just do this. See? What should I tell you to do? Sell it? If I tell you sell it and it does what I did first, make a running flat, you will probably take a loss. If I tell you don't sell it and it doesn't make a running flat, it just dropped, you're going to say he doesn't have an idea what you say. Right? So it's what pattern we are anticipating is developing. Right now, you have three pieces. Let me just explain this simple. This might be the simplest thing for you guys to understand how wave pattern works. So think of it this way. You have three pieces of thing. You're playing with Legos and you have these three pieces only, right? So I don't know, maybe something like this and another piece like this, right? And you have to build something with that. With those three pieces, you really can't build anything. But if you have 20 something pieces like those, you can build something, right? So as this chart is developing, we are making forecasts. We're looking at the bigger structure and we're making a forecast what we think it's going to do. So if a chart is going up and I said, my forecast is going to correct, that's a very good forecast. It's going to correct. The problem is I can't tell you what pattern is going to form here. Right? I don't know what pattern is going to make there. You don't have to know that. You know it's going to correct. Now, you know what to look for if you're going to look for a sell setup in that correction. You know how to manage a trade if you're managing a trade, which is a correction. You follow? So that is what as it's developing, then we start to figure out, oh, this looks like a flat. This looks like an expanding flat. This looks like a running flat. This looks like the silver is a perfect example of how complex it can be because I've been showing you guys the silver. Look at this, right? Look how this is developing. We couldn't tell at this point, you would thought that is all a correction. We didn't think so, but you probably would think so. And then this happened and I was like, okay, it's going down again. It's going to come back here. And then it started to do this. I was like, okay, what is it doing? Then we saw that. Then we saw this piece. Then we saw this piece. And then we thought this is going to go break the top. And then it's coming back now. It's changing the corrective structure. It's not changing the general structure. The patterns is changing and developing as they go. And as the patterns are developing, we are figuring out what piece more we have, how complex it can be. What is this piece now? How do you look at that piece? Where is it? And then you fit those pieces together and you're going to left with one simple pattern. When all of that is finished, most likely you're going to be left with one simple pattern. You're going to left with a pattern that will be like this. 1, 2, 3. You guys want me to show you a pattern like that went on for how many years? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? I think Punkat, right? Oh, you guys have been following me for a long time. You already know which one I'm going to show you, right? The Punkat. You only have 3 simple patterns, 3 simple ways. By the way, Punkat is a nice setup for sale. Don't forget this. Here, look at this one. This started when? June 2010. Finished when? It finished here. That would be September 30. You wouldn't know it finished until it was here, which is August 30. But with all that complexity, all you're looking at is 1, 2, 3. And all its complexity, you're looking at a 3-wave structure. And then you get an impulse and you get another impulse. If I have to draw that for you, I'll draw it like this. 1, 3 years, 3 years, up move. That's what you had there. Can you trade within that structure? Of course you can do it. We are trading in a much smaller structure than that. This is the weekly chart. We're trading in one of this 4-hour consolidation in the silver. This is a 4-hour consolidation in the silver. Where is the silver? There is silver. Oops, go here, that's silver. We're trading in this 4-hour consolidation, this one. So you can trade in a weekly consolidation and double your account. See? Same for the Aussie New Zealand. So do you know what pattern is going to make? No, you don't. And you don't have to know. You have to know how to figure out the pattern. You have to have, if you know all the patterns as it's developing, you can see what the next possible pattern is going to be. Now, you have to know the patterns. And I don't mean the patterns you see out there where people are, I like this. When I was in trading, I used to really enjoy the fun when these guys, they will come and they'll say, oh, please, I see this pattern. 1, 1, 2, 3, sell. 1, 1, 2, 3, up. Bullish pattern, bearish pattern. 1, triangle pattern. They'll make something like this and you get a triangular pattern, it's gonna go up. I'm like, hey, take a live chart and do it. That is bare nonsense. Take a live chart, show me the patterns in a live chart and show me while it's happening, like I'm showing you here. Not after the fact. After the fact, everybody is perfect. After the fact, you're all very successful traders. Do it live like this and don't do it in a $1,000 account. That's somebody's dinner money you're spending. Do it in an account that is, you know you're risking something, right? 10 standard loss, 20 standard loss, it carries weight. You're risking something. You're putting your money where where your mouth is. And you're putting solid money there. Not after the fact, live in front of a crowd of how much? 500? Can you guys make the crowd bigger so I will get crowd fear? I'm not afraid of 500 people. Bring 2,000 people tomorrow. That's the whole point. That is when you know you have something of value. So this is what we do. Is it going to go up? Absolutely. We'll see. We'll all be here and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see. All right? We've been watching it for 3-4 days. We made a number of good trades in it. Well, not good trades, break-even trades, but we will get some. How to backtest your strategy in which platform? You don't need to backtest the strategy. You need to learn the patterns. Spend the rest of your time learning the patterns. There's nothing to backtest. If you learn the patterns, good. Backtesting is while you're learning the patterns, you're literally backtesting everything. You follow, you just have to learn the patterns, know the patterns. If you know the patterns, good, it's helping you a lot. Euro is coming back as we thought it's going to come. Let's see if we have a trade on Euro. Might get one. We don't have one right now, but we might get one because this is a nice running plan. I like it. Short term, we might get a trade here. If we get a short term trade, go for the break even because it might. What did it stop on silver? You were asleep for the last 2 hours, my friend. It's 2 hours, 10 minutes we're here and I've been talking about where my stop is in silver. Somebody wake him up. Just wake him up. So if you get a flag like that, there's a good chance you might take this trade, right? When it comes to the low, put it to break even because there's a chance they're going to do that, right? One chance, but there's a good chance you get this trade. Not very far, at least to the line. You might get a nice short-term trade here. Might be possible. But structurally, they can go back up to also. Oh, you joined late? We don't have stop. I don't have stops in silver. 0. That's where the stop is. But because of the pattern, it's not going to go there. So you don't have to worry. Just make sure you calculate your stop at 0, which means you're going to use a very small lot size compared to your account. So even if you go in drawdown, you'll be how much? 5% drawdown? Don't worry about it. Just come back and you make 20% on it. Right? If it's silver, only silver. I'm not talking about anything else. If it's silver and you go in 5% drawdown, comes back, I'll make 20% of it. So I'm not worried about the silver. Okay, guys, watch the CAD. I'm going to give you guys a heads up very fast what trades to watch, and then we're going to call it a day because I think all of you are tired by now. I'm getting tired for the day. Watch CAD if CAD starts to go down. Watch the yen. Watch euro yen. Euro might not be the best one, but you can keep an eye on it. Watch silver if you're not in the trade and it starts to go up. Right? Might give you a good trade. If you're in the trade, you have to watch it. Let's see what else we're looking at. The yen pairs, all of them have flags on them. The best one would be New Zealand yen, Euro yen, Aussie yen. Those would be the 3 best ones if they started breaking. New Zealand, yen, and Aussie all are currencies that trades in the Asian session. So if you guys are going to be in the Asian session, I'll be asleep. You can watch them. All right? Yes, US yen might give a sell setup very soon. What is backtesting? Backtesting means you're going to have a strategy. First, you have to have the analysis. I already explained. And analyzing charts, you spend days and days trying to analyze. You work on the method. Is that backtesting? Yeah, you're going back in the charts and you're trying to figure out all the patterns and how they work. When they say you have to backtest a strategy, what they mean is they will give you a specific set of rules. And they want you see this, if you see A, then make sure there is B, and then wait for C, and then take the trade. Something like that. And then you go back in the charts and you try to figure out how that is going to work randomly. Now, there's one thing taking live trade. There's another thing, backtesting strategies that, it's amazing when you backtest it. 90% of those strategies when backtest will give you very good success. 90% of them will give you very, very good success. And if you start using them in your trading, 90% of you are going to lose your account. So where is that mislink? The mislink is you're just testing a strategy without understanding the charts. You still have to understand the charts, understand the patterns in the charts, and then any strategy that you use based on what the patterns are doing, based on what the charts are doing, is going to be successful. So spend your time mostly analyzing the chart, not backtesting a specific strategy, because we have a lot of strategies. We have senior traders who are tripling their account and they don't use the strategy we use. We give to the room because that's the safest strategy. They use much more aggressive strategies to trade, right? It's a strategy. The strategy they've designed based on the chart and their experience. You follow what I'm saying, right? I hope you guys are understanding that. So just you make the rules for yourself. These are my rules. This is what I would do, right? And you do it. You implement those rules as you go along. That's a strategy. It's a set of rules on what you're going to do, how you're going to enter a trade, how you're going to manage a trade, how you're going to exit a trade. When you have very good experience and you will risk things that out of your strategy, out of your rules, because your experience kicks in every now and then, and it has nothing to do with being a disciplined person, all that crap. There's a lot of myth in the industry. Let me put it this way. There's a lot of myth. People are trying to hype and all kinds of stuff so that they can, hey, you have to be disciplined. Here's my thing. And discipline, if you're not a disciplined trader, you're going to lose your account. And so discipline means just doing your work good. Everybody who is working has to be disciplined. You have to, if you're making hamburgers in McDonald's, you better be disciplined. You have to be there in time. You have to make sure you're good hygiene. You have to be disciplined. So discipline, as for traders, should not be something separate from anywhere else. We should have discipline in life, basically. So I don't stress all those very little things that are common things and common sense things that people should know. I'm telling you, gain the knowledge, learn to read the charts, start to understand the patterns. It's about knowledge. If we put everything in one word, it's about knowledge. Your strategy is about knowledge. Your analysis is about knowledge. Your discipline is about your knowledge. It's about knowledge. Having a vast amount of knowledge of what the chart is doing. So you're not scared of it. When you put on a trade like silver, you can go sleep on it tonight. Even if it falls, I will come back tomorrow and tell you what I'm doing with it. If you do that, your account might grow slowly and then it's going to make a spike and it's going to grow slowly. It's going to get a little drawdown. If you look at it here, it's not going to go in a straight line. Let's look at it. It's going to go up and down, up and down. You have to go here maybe. Performance. See that? It's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, but it's going to go up all the time. You see, eventually it's going to go up. You're above the zero line. You're above into profit, right? You're making profit. This is the 555 and you see I'm above that line all the time. It's going to go up some higher. It's going to come down a little, go up a little, come down a little, go up. That's normal. The tendency would be towards the upside. You follow? That's the whole point. You're not going to win all the trades. You're not going to lose all your trades. You're going to get a lot of break-even trades. The trading is complex. It's not, you don't have to worry about losing one or two trades. You will lose them. You will lose hundreds, but you will win thousands. So that's the whole point. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys here. That look how many trades we took. Not one of them went to my target. None of them leave the consolidation. They're all still in the consolidation, but we still managed to close for positive. At least the last 3 days, we closed all of them for positive because the account went from 57 to 69. We have two now, they're in drawdown. If I manage to close these two for positive or take a small loss, I will not be worried because I'm still going to continue to do that. And when I get that next big trade, like I showed you about 20 trades and then 30,000, another 20 trades and 30,000, that's okay. If I take 5-6 trades a day, that means every 2 weeks I make a 30,000. The account is going to grow. It's going to grow amazing, right? That's the whole point. You don't fix yourself into certain parameters of traders have to do this and traders have to do this. You have to have this. You have to go write a journal of all the mistakes you make. You can do that for self-discipline and learning. But if you can, I remember my mistakes. I don't journal them. Most of them I remember. I remember the charts, what they look like, because that's my passion. I'm very passionate about it. That's what I do. So, okay, guys, I would leave now. I think I'm talking too much. Let's go. Tomorrow, I will see all of you again. We will do these trades. We'll do weekly analysis of what happened during the week, what we did, how much we lost, how much we make, and then we'll see for the next week. And then I will see you guys Sunday on the weekly outlook. All right? I'll try to see the next Sunday. I'll give you a slight update on what happened. Enjoy, trade with care, make it fun. Join us, and we'll be happy to have you. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.